everybody. Is that actually coming through on the feed? Yes, it is. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Touring Car Sim Racing League. We're joining you today from the lovely Silverstone race circuit. I am your commentator. That is me, Andy Pawley. I will be with you for the next about 2 hours. I'll be with you for the next 2 hours. We have 7 minutes of the practice session remaining. Then we have 10 minutes of fantastic qualifying. Lap times that we're looking for at the moment are around a 1:06. I'd expect there's 9 turns on this track. And for those of you that are thinking where we are on the Silverstone International circuit. There are 3 track layouts. We are not running the GP, we are running the International circuit, which is a fantastic little racetrack, if I might say that. Average speed around this track is around 90 miles an hour. Most time is spent within 4th and 5th gear in the WTCRs. So they will spend a lot of time in high gear on this track. It's like I said, it's 8 turns and roughly it's around a 1:09 that we're looking for. That's weather is as always bright and sunny in this game. There are 13 to 14 drivers. Actually, there should be 15 drivers. We're missing a couple at the current moment, but I suspect they will be jumping in momentarily. There was 14. It's now down to 13 as it currently stands. But let's get to the business end of the evening. I call him T-Joke, but apparently his name is Coke-So, or Coke. So I'm going to call him T-Joke, because that's what I've always called him, but he's currently leading the championship on 153 points with 100 kilograms of ballast. George is second, 142, 92 kilograms of ballast. He will be happy that the ballast has been taken off. We're missing Kane Alexander, that's who we're missing. Michael Clough, fresh off 4 wins in the last 6, is there on 80, is third on 139 points. Then we've got Aaron Markham, is 4th on 60. Then we've got Butch, 134. He'll be happy with the 45 kilograms on that card. Neil, 127, 30 kilograms on board. Ashbourne, 126. Then we've got Papa Dim, Bullen, Flack, Large, Deeks, K. Alexander, who has never been on a podium ever in the Touring Car Sim Racing League, and then last week he goes out and takes his first race victory. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch race 3. It is absolutely magnetic is the way that I would describe that. It's a sensational race that he did. Then we got Luke Dugdale and Stevie Gon Hogg. Mr. Beckett is no longer racing. In terms of the team's championship, Crazy Drivers obviously winning on 293. No Frills Racing is slowly but surely making their way up the table, but the big movers and shakers is the Yamaworks boys. 245, that is Mike Bullen and Aaron Markham. Then you've got Nero Motorsport. He's running on his own as an independent. 217, solid result for him, but in the last 2 races, he hasn't really shown the speed that we know Stu Neal has. Maybe tonight will be his first race victory of the season. Butcher, race winner, down in 5th. Then we got Team Hardley in the Hyundais, 126. Zeus Racing, that's Nick Papadim, 93, and then Lone Wolf Racing at the back. Now, the Dougie Trophy. This is for everyone who has not had a race victory. They are included. This takes into consideration their points plus how many positions they gain. So you gain, so even if you start at the back of the grid and you gain a couple of places, you get points. Simon Ashbourne, and this has been chops and chavy, this has been tops and turvy for the entire time. So Ashbourne is now leading on 132. Mike Bullen is second on 126. Papadim is third on 122. Neil, who is... he's that close to a race victory, so watch out, he might be out of this on 119. Flack, again, another driver who's going to be close to a race victory, 112 points. Craig Deeks, last week out in Brazil in the 3rd race, he was leading until the penultimate lap where he was no longer leading. And as a result, he's got 99. Jay Beckett not running, and Doug Dale's just kind of at the back. He's been in and out because of his work. So that's how it stacks up for this evening. Mike Bullen is currently fastest on a 1:08.695. That won't be the qualifying time. I'm expecting qualifying time to be closer to the 1:07s I'd say a 107.9. I'm expecting there to be at least another second off that time. Closest is Aaron Large. He's also fighting for his first race victory of the season. He had the opportunity last time out. No, he's already had one. I do apologise. He has actually already had one. Yes, he has. He's already a race winner, as you can see on the table. So he's going to go for his another race victory. Stu Neal is there in the thing, 5/10. They're all kind of in the same back. George is rapid in fourth. He's currently not out on track. Stu Neal has got halted on the flags. The flags are now working on the system. There is Mike Bullis, really running wide out of Beckett's. This is like I said, this is an absolutely fantastic strike. He has now gone into the pits, which again is what I would expect. But we will see. I'm just pushing everything over onto my various screens that we have this evening. Let's go across there. As always, we are live, and because we are live, it means that I have to diagnose faults as we see them. Good evening, Benny. Nice to see you on stream. Please put your stuff in there. Let us know. We run a 3-race format. That's what we're running this evening. So we have 1 minute left of the practice session. Then we go into a 10-minute qualifying session. I will keep an eye on the screens, but it was usually on auto-direct for that section. Then we go into race 1, which is about 8:20 this evening. Race 1 is based off the qualifying position. So if you qualify first, where Poddy has just gone 0.3 of a second faster than anybody, that determines the positions for race 1. Race 2 is determined off the finishing positions of race 1. So if you if you finish first in race 1, you start first in race 2. You're given that advantage. Race 3 is a reverse grid based off the finishing positions of race 1. Don't worry if you're new and you're just joining us. I will take you through the whole thing as the evening develops. I can see quite a few of you. Looks like you're new time streamers. Between the races, we do have driver interviews. I will try and keep up to date with as much as possible on what's going on in terms of the drivers and things like that. And then right at the end, we do have the PAWLEYS pit lane, where we will discuss with 2 drivers, probably for about 20 minutes on some finer points. If you've got any questions that you'd like to get added right at the end of the stream, you can always come back and watch it later in a date. Let me know and I will ask the drivers. And that's how it stacks up this evening. So we're going to go over to the racing and we're going to go over to the qualifying session, which will start momentarily. And then we will see who is who. There is no... In terms of this, the drivers just set off. They're not allowed. They don't go out on track. So basically, it means that they can't get in each other's way. They're all running independently. Mike Bullen is going to be the first driver to go. So we'll stick with him as he comes round through the club corner. It's the club complex, if you want to be pedantic about it. It looks around a 108.3 is what we're looking for. This is the Hamilton Straight. This takes us up to Abbey, which as we ride on board, he's run wide there. He's run wide already through the left of Farm Curve. This then takes us up to Village and into what is predominantly known the Link. This corner to the right here, he's run wide. He's run wide into that corner. I don't think he's really going to be able to do anything now, and let's see what he's going to come up first on the board as going purple in that sector because he's the first car in the sector. So I suspect he's just going to go purple. Yep, 29.652. I don't think it's going to be good enough. Kane Alexander has now joined in 15. So we have 15 cars running tonight. We're still missing. That's the full assortment of drivers. Mike Bullen there coming through the right-hander of Stowe. This then takes us down into Vale, which is an absolutely fantastic corner. The helicamera there's a little bit drunk, but he's got himself sorted. Through the left-right section of Club. This is fantastic. Car will run wide. He needs to take as much curb as he can. He's still at half a width there. So yeah, I just don't think he's going to do it. He'll go green on the board. He'll be purple in Sector 1. He's going to cross the line at 108.296. It's faster than his last time. Anyone else coming in? Poddy Flack's just gone 0.3 of a second faster. And that's the qualifying time that we're looking at, a 108.962. That's the times that I'm expecting to be able to see this evening. Hard on the brakes here. This is where Chris broke his suspension in Season 1. He's actually on tonight he's there, so you can ask him the same question. He broke his suspension there, and as a result he started to lose time. You take too much curb there and you will break your suspension. Poddy's reset himself. Who is out on track? Ashbourne is currently third, but he's 5/10. Nobody is in. Nobody is at the same speed that Poddy Flack is in. There is Ashbourne in the Hyundai, number 19. What's he looking in his first sector? We're looking for a 29.42. He's 3/10 up. And that's where Poddy's making all his time. So to give you a comparison, Poddy Flack in Sector 1, 29.492. Everybody else is in the 29.6s. In Sector 1, sorry. In Sector 2, the only driver, Mike Bullen's got closer. He's got closer. Where is he losing his time? It's the final sector. Mike Bullen, once again, is losing time in that final sector. So to give you the comparison, Sector 1, faster than Poddy Flack by 5/10 of a second. Sorry, 5/100ths of a second. Sector 2, near as enough makes no difference. They're about the same. When it comes to that final sector, this is where Mike is now starting to lose his time. As we come down the back of the Hangar Straight, over 5th gear, 130 miles an hour, through the right-hander, down into 4th, into Stowe Corner. Good opportunity taking moving in. We're going to stick with him for the remainder of this lap. Riding on board, he's reset himself. Is anybody going faster in their sectors? Yes, Aaron, he'll go faster, but he's not going to really improve. Crosses the line, should go somewhere second. He goes second. Board was predicting third. Clough has popped into 4th. Michael Clough is carrying ballast. He's reset himself. This is the 68. This is Kane Alexander. Let's stick with Kane. He hasn't, Kane Alexander, whatever he's called, this week. See what he does. Can he do anything from this position? This is re-ride back on board with him. This is through the fast right-hander up Abbey Corner. 4th gear. Keep the car nice and taut. Use all of the road to the left side as he builds up the speed down the gearbox. He'll go 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd. Some flip it into 1st. Hold it. There's the sausage curb that killed Chris's car season 1 through the left hand. There's the other sausage curb that rolled Mike Bullen's car down through the right into Beckett, and then we'll be building up the speed. Then we'll be absolutely maximising everything that these drivers can do from this position. What can he do from here? This is the helicam view through the right-hand sider into Stowe Corner that then takes us into Vale. This is a fast over. It's over 100 kilometres through this second, then down into the Club Corner complex. Trying to remember, this is Vale. He's outbraked himself. What's he going to do from here? Is he going to be able to deliver this now? He needs a time on the board at best. He will get 2 more goes at this. Crosses the line. He's green. He's 1 second off. He's going to be nearly 2. 103. Where's he put himself? He's in 13th place, not good enough. Hogs at the back because he hasn't done anything. Nick Papadim, that's quite unusual. T-Joke there, he's really suffering. Again, he's got ballast on board. He has maximum ballast, 100 kilograms of ballast on board this car. Where it will really start to hurt him is down the main straight. Down here, down the Hangar Straight. This is what's really going to hamper him. He needs a tow, but the problem he has in qualifying is that there is no car in front of him to punch that hole in the air. He's all on his own. Poddy Flack is still. Mike Bullen now goes into 2nd position. 50.17. He's had a Sector 1 disallowed. He's in Sector 1. So I couldn't see what he's done. He's done a 50 still. So on that last lap, he went faster, but he's losing all his time in Sector 2. It's Sector 2 where he's losing his time. So he must be getting a bad drive out of the corner through the right-hander here. This is Beckett's into Beckett's, out to Beckett's, down the Hangar Straight. What can he do? I'm watching the board. He's reset himself. He has a disallowed in that sector. Clough is all the way down to 7th. Butcher's put himself into 6th. There he is, 23. He's not 23. He might be 23. I don't know, but he's got 23 on the car. He's going to go for his hot lap. Again, riding on board with him. Let's see what he can do from this position. Let's make that a little bit larger so I can actually see the buttons. I don't think he's going to be able to do anything from here. Is he really? No. So there we go. I made the buttons a bit bigger so my fat fingers can actually get it. What's Luke doing? He's in the 52. He's the 30s at the back. He's a 1.873 seconds off. So you've basically got a group of cars from 11th to 15th. But nobody's going faster than Poddy. 24.492. He's gone faster in Sector 2. 50.012. So he's gone marginally faster. He's just gone faster again. So his Sector 2 times are 49.881. Yeah, he's just finding speed everywhere. Now, the thing with Poddy is that he practices this track. This is where he goes out and learns the track. This is where he tests his car. This is where he discovers what he can do. He's 2/10. He's the only driver now in the 107.8. Nobody else is anywhere close to him. He's the only driver in the 107s, to give you that comparison. But again, race pace, his issue here. So he's kind of flipped it on his head. What we usually see with Poddy, who's currently fastest, is he doesn't very rarely convert qualifying into he has a poor qualifying and a better race. He's going faster again. A poor qualifying and a better race. Or he has a really good qualifying and a really bad race. So he's going to have to try and break away from Mike quite early doors, to be fair. It's all going to be about starts. It's all going to be about launching it off and going defensive immediately. And that's what's going to cause him some troubles. The question is he going to be able to do it? Is he going to be able to actually get that from this section through the right-hander here? This is Club. He don't think he's going to be going any faster. Let's pick up Ashbourne, see how he's doing. He's parked. Thank you very much, heli camera. Here is Butcher, currently in 6th position. 4/10 off current pole. I don't think he's going to do anything with 1 minute 18. So they'll get one more bite of this cherry. Anyone who's not on a hot lap now will not go out onto a hot lap because they just won't have enough time. And we'll see how they come in on the board. So we'll stick with a heli camera for the next minute and a bit, see how this goes. George is down in 9th, but again, he's carrying 95 kilograms on board. His nearest championship rival is right behind him, but Clough, who is in 3rd, he's in 7th. So this is quite a tactical thing now, because what George now has to do is, again, get these points, because Clough will actually go ahead of him in the championship. And that's going to be really bad to week 7 and 8, because in the last 2 final races of the week, you don't of the championship, you don't want to be carrying the ballast. There's a lot of tactical play going on as it stands. But there it is. I don't think anyone's going to beat Poddy. I mean, it's a 107.858. I mean, it's just a different class from everybody else. It's 2 to 3 tenths make no difference. Mike Bullen's 2nd, Aaron Large is 3rd, Neil is 4th, Ashbourne's 5th. Butcher 6th, 7th is Clough, George, Markham, T-Joke, Craig, Papa Dim, Alex, Hogg and Luke. And that's how your race 1 stacks up. I'm going to take a quick picture of this so I can remind everybody of where they all start in race 3, because I always forget. And that's how it stacks up. We're going to go across now. There'll be about a minute while they all get ready, as everyone gets ready to start their racing. They're going to have to watch what they're doing, because it's going to be very, very tricky into that first sector. There is, I don't think we're on the heli camera, but there is the Silverstone. There is the Hamilton Straight. Absolutely fantastic racetrack. They're all going to be jumping in now, which is why we have that look. It's a 107 is a very fast lap around here. The fastest production car to go around here is the McLaren Senna. That is the fastest car to ever actually go round this racetrack in this configuration. It was an absolutely stunning lap. It was a 106.38. Well, actually, it was a Senna P15. It's done by Oliver Webb. 2019, pre-COVID, actually. It's out in Towchester. Yeah, it's a fantastic track. It's about track. It's an absolutely fantastic track. I love it. I remember starting with you all on Project Cars 2 at the very beginning. Yes. That is back. Well, here we go. In race 1, the lights will be flashing. Everybody will be getting ready. The question is, who is going to take it into the first corner? Who is going to be victorious? We will find out. Hold on to your seats. And it's lights out. And away we go. And this is an absolutely fantastic start from Poddy. He's been absolutely perfect getting away. But you can see there, 3 Lincoln Co's as they all steam into that first corner. Simon is side by side with Butcher. Butcher is side by side, but Butcher will have the inside left side outside. He's the number 23. Hard on the brakes as they swing round. Oh, there's contact in the back. That was Clough. Clough had a little bit of a elbows out and he's fallen down positions. He's now right ahead of his nearest championship rival. That is T-Joke and Craig Deeks. George is maintaining 6th. They're all trying to sort themselves out as they stream through into the centre line. But you can see Poddy now is 0.6 of a second ahead of Mike Bullen. But Ashbourne is right in the middle as we ride from the rear view camera. You can see the Honda versus the Lincoln Co. side by side into the right-hander here of Stowe Corner, 4th gear. He will perfectly get through, but look at that Honda. He's the right side, the number 18. Does Aaron Markham sail it up the inside? 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd into 1st. Momentarily pips it through. Can he do anything? Can he get past? He's now up right behind Mike Clough, and you can see from the rear view camera, this is 6th position. There is 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. The rest of the field is streaming through. Markham is going to attempt it to sail it. No, he thinks better of it. But look at Kane Alexander side by side with Nick Papadim. This is 11th and 12th. Don't forget, in 12th, there's that number 34. That is Nick Papadim. The question is, can they do anything? Somebody's gone wide! Somebody's gone wide! Does he collect anybody? Does he collect anybody? I don't know. Quickly go back to the heli camera. No, they've all sorted themselves out. That must have been an exceptional brown trouser moment. That was Russ Butcher. I think he's broken something. I think Butcher has broken something, which is why he's off. Cannot believe it, but look at Craig Deek. He's attempting to push this as much as he can. Nick Papadim. He is on the right side. He's in the number 34, that 82. That is Craig Deeks. They are side by side. They're keeping it nice and tidy. 2 wheels on the curb. That's going to end you up right in a cluster of crunchy nut cornflakes if you're not too careful. Hard on the brakes. Very, very careful through the left side into the club complex. Then into the right-hander. Then he's on 2 wheels. He's put it on his roof. I cannot believe it. Round and round he goes, up and down. He's going to have to hold on to that, but we leave that battle. Rejoin the battle for the lead. So Poddy Flack at the moment is leading from 2nd place man. That is Mike Bullen. Mike Bullen in the 88. Right behind that is Aaron. You've got 3rd race, 1 race victory, no race victories and no race victories. So man in 1st and the man in 2nd are desperate to get a race victory. The question is, will they get one? Now this is where the Lincoln Co, as we ride from the front view camera of the 2nd place man, you can see here, look at that timing stream. He's gaining. Russ Butcher disqualification, not quite sure what for, but we will find out. But that Lincoln Co, little tab of the brakes there from Poddy Flack, and you can see there is the purple Honda. He's hunting him down like a pack of dogs. The question is, as we come down hard into the braking zone now, riding from the front view camera of Aaron. He's in 3rd, don't forget. There is 2nd, there is 1st. He's the last of the podium positions. Bronze medal, there is silver and there is gold. Who's going to take it through the right side? Down the hanger straight they go, building up that speed. You can see there 170 kilometers an hour, over 200. You can do your conversions, divide by 7, see what you get as they reset all over again. Who is going to be victorious? It's only 11 minutes. Poddy is now starting to get that gap. We leave that and rejoin the battle for 10th position. So in 10th position is Kane Alexander. Right ahead of him is Craig Deeks. He's the 82 Hyundai. Right behind that is the Lincoln Co. That is Kane Alexander. There he is. Right in the middle of that 68, that number 19, that is Simon Ashbourne. Boom, there he is. Hyundai. You've got a Hyundai, Link, Hyundai and an Audi, different nationalities, all tying. The question is, can Craig Deeks from the rear view camera? He is in 9th position. There is 10th, 11th and 12th. Who is going to do it through this right-hander? Who is going to be able to take this position? It's going to be very, very close as they go to the right side. They're 2 by 2, 1 by 1. Can they do anything as they come down into Vale? Hard on the brakes, through the left-hander into the club complex. Simon Ashbourne has managed to go around the outside of everybody. Absolutely sensational move. Kane Alexander went from 9th to 11th. Craig Deek has gone down 1 as well. And Simon Ashbourne, Luke in the 52, has sailed off into the distance, but he's holding on to the back. Nick Papadim rolled it on his roof, so he's going to have nil points tonight. Not good for his championships. Cannot believe that. Through the left-hander, building up that speed. Then we go down. That was Abbey in to the village complex as he got up the inside. Sensational move there from Kane. He says thank you very much, checks himself out. Craig saw him coming. He thought, I'm not going to have an accident. Sensational stuff. We leave this battle and rejoin the battle now for 4th and 5th. Clough, there he is. You can see him, 3rd car in the row. It's a Lincoln Co, Seat and a Lincoln Co. 2 Volvos sandwiching a Seat. The question is who is going to take this with 9 minutes 27 remaining? Through the left-hander here, down into the club complex. Through the left-hander. There's the sausage curb that launched a number of cars. Stu Neal is doing a solid job here. Kane Alexander has got Craig Deeks. I am watching that battle for 10th position as well. But we are sticking with this driver. He's in 4th position, last of the podium positions. Poddy Flack is 1.2 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. He has disappeared. Look at that Seat bouncing all over the curbs. Does he sail it up the inside? No, he thinks better of it. T-Joke, slow down penalty. There's the sausage curb. Launch you into the abyss if you're not paying attention. Through the left-hander into the link. It does. George got the inside. No, he thinks better of it. He's thinking about his championship now. His nearest rival is right behind him. And behind that, T-Joke is there. He's right at the back of the queue. Now, look at Aaron. Aaron is in the 32. Mike's had a slow down penalty. I think that's why Aaron has been able to get past. Looking at the board, yeah, this track limit abuse, it's running wide coming out of Beckett's. That's the problem. George hasn't given up on Neil. These two are still fighting each other with 8 minutes 17 remaining. Hard on the brakes through the left side into Club. They're going to go all the way round as we ride on board now with 5th place man, and you can see how close he's getting. 1/10, 2/10. Oh, he takes a much tighter line there. It's almost like Stu Neal was enticing him to come on board. He's like, come on, have a go if you think you're hard enough, but not hard enough to try it. A little bit of a break there from the man behind. That is the man of George Championship. 2nd in the championship. Does he sail it up the inside? Does he get it stopped just before there was contact? Sensational stuff from these two. Another slowdown penalty from Craig Deeks through the right side into the left. Keeps it nice and tidy. Can he deliver anything? Keeps it in there. This is where they're running wide. That's what's causing them the problem. Now Poddy Flack has just disappeared into the distance. There he is. But as we ride on board with Mike Bullen, now he's got rid of that slowdown penalty. He's starting to close the gap to Aaron in front. Aaron is 2nd, don't forget, but we're riding on board with 3rd. That is Mike Bullen, his Yammer Works with his privateer. There is the DHL, I love that livery. Through into the club complex, left side, there's one of the sausage curves. We've got another one on this, it's to prevent corner cutting that you get on other games. Nick Papadim, he took too much of the cake and as a result it smacked him in the face. That's why he rolled over. You've got to be careful because otherwise you're going to be on your roof. Through the right-hander of Abbey. This is 4th gear corner, little dab of the brakes. He's got on 2 wheels. He slid it. Can he hold on to it? This is Mike's opportunity. He's going to sail it up the inside. Can he do this? Hard on the brakes. Does he leave enough room there? 2x2. 1x1. No. There's still 2x2. He's still holding on to it. Swings it to the left in the background. George is trying to do the same trick on Neil, but he hasn't done it. This is the battle for 4th position. In 5th, there is George. Just ahead of him is Stu Neal. Now it's going to be an outright drag to the end. The question is, who is going to do this? I think Aaron's had a slowdown penalty. He's either had a slowdown penalty or he's broken something. The question now is they're going to be able to do anything? I'm not sure what that camera angle is. Through the right side, is he going to be able to hold on to it? Is he going to be able to do anything from here? Oh, he's trying to sail it up the inside. Does he get it stopped? Just stopped, but not enough to be able to take the position. Sensational racing from these two. 5 minutes 48 remaining through the right-hander, back onto the Hamilton straight, and it's reset all over again. There's battles. They're all spread out, but there's 2 main battles that I'm watching. There's the slowdown penalties are starting to affect them as we ride from the front view camera now of the man in 4th position. Right behind him is George. There he is. He's in the 96 through the right-hander here. Then it goes into the left of the link, which takes us down to Beckett and back down the Hanger Straight, which is a sensationally fast part of the track. Now, if we ride from the front view camera here, you'll see that Lincoln Co will get the early stages of a progression. It's punching the hole in the air. Look at the time in the middle, 2.6, 2.7. Then As we get closer, it starts to draw him back in again. The problem that George has is ballast. Aaron is going to go up the inside as Michael Clough had a slow down penalty. If you get a slow down penalty coming out of Beckett's, it absolutely destroys your race. And as a result, people are just losing time, hand over fist through that section. And as a result now, George is going to see Neil takes a completely different line from everybody else there. Poddy has just disappeared into the distance at 4.33 seconds. So that'll give him a race victory through the right-hander here. We're following George in 5th, but we're going to pick up T-Joke now. Very sorry, T-Joke, if this is not how you say your name, but that's the best way I can say it. He has got 100 kilograms on board, and he's just wanting to lose as much of it as possible at this event. He really needs to have the lightest of the fast 3 when it comes into the season. A little bit of a wobble from both of them, but nothing towards there. Michael Clough's got third. He's got third highest ballast on board, which is 80 kilograms actually. So that's really going to cost him, but it's not costing him enough time, because right behind him, as we pump onto the rear camera now, T-Joke's he's just not going to be able to get through there. Behind there, you've got Ashbourne, who was a little bit of a tighter line up there to say, I'm coming. That'll force Clough to go wide, leave just enough room, but not enough to get past. They're going to be side by side. A little bit of a tap in there, but it's all fair. Through the right side, Mike runs wide, and through he goes. T-Joke takes Clough, but now he's ahead in the championship. Now, we leave this battle and rejoin the battle for 4th and 5th. So, recap quickly. In 4th position is Stu Neal. He is driving that Volvo Chinese Lincoln Co., that number 100. Behind him in the 96, that is George. 2 different nationalities, 2 different manufacturers from 2 different sections of the world, all fighting it out. They're not bumping each other as they go over the link there. That is just how the car rides those bumps. It makes it look spectacular, but inside it's very smooth. There's Mike Bullen in 1st, 2nd, there is 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. But look at Clough. Clough now, what is going on with Clough? Has he broken something? Yes, he's broken the suspension. He's done a Chris from season 1. He's broken the suspension. That's why he's going so slow. He's broken the front left of the suspension, and as a result, he can only turn left. And as a result, he's now a sitting duck. He's just going back and back and back and back. He's pushed so hard that his wheels have nearly fallen off the wagon. Through the right-hander, he's into club. As we leave that battle now, we're going to rejoin the battle for 4th and 5th. Luke Dugdale I think he's had a DNF. Nick rolled it on the roof, and Russ got a disqualification. I'm not quite sure what the disqualification was for, but they're all now racking up these slow down penalties, and it's because they're trying to extend the track here, and that's the problem. He's run wide. This should be it. This should be just sailed. This should just be he's got past him now. Body Flack is so far ahead, he just needs to keep it on the tarmac. He's 5.1 seconds. It's a dominant display at this racetrack. He's miles ahead of everybody else, to be honest. Aaron's in 3rd, Mike's in 2nd. Neil here is going to attempt, I think, to try and go for the overcut and try and go round the outside, but I don't think that's going to work in this section, if I'm completely honest. No, he's going to attempt to go up the inside. He's going to have to outbrake George. That's what he's going to have to do. Coming down into Veld and into Club, he needs to try and get as close as he can and outbrake him, but what they're both doing is dragging themselves closer and closer to Aaron. That's the problem they've got, is that as they drive through this section, the final 1 minute will be one more lap. Poddy Flack, he needs to be careful, because he'll actually run out of points if he's not too careful through the right-hander, because every time you get a track limit abuse, you're losing incident points. George is now, he's just got himself into it. The question now is, can Aaron hold on to this? Clough is still driving, but he's down in 9th. He's 12 seconds ahead of Stevie Gone Hog, so I don't think he's going to do anything. Through the right-hander, this is the last lap, riding on board now with Stu Neal. He's in Simon Ashbourne. He's now joined the back of the 6th and 7th debate. The question is, who is going to take it? He should be able to get past T-Joke here. This is the man. He's in 8th position. The 55, third car in your picture, that is T-Joke. Look how much less speed he's got. And that's the ballast. He just can't get that phase. He can't get that punch as he comes out the corner. Ashbourne's just going to go round the outside. There's contact. There's contact between the 2 drivers. Ashbourne's bailed out. There was no way that was going to end in any other way but a massive accident. Great driving between these 2. Ashbourne hasn't given it up yet. He's going to attempt to go up the inside. They're using up all their incident points on the last 2 corners. Poddy Flack has finished the race, but we're not going to cover that. Through the right side, who takes it? Will it be Ashbourne? No. T-Joke holds on to 7th position. Absolutely magnetic stuff. Clough brings a very wounded car home in 6th. Kane Alexander in 10th position. Solid result for him. Stevie Hogg in 11th. And Craig Deek finishes in 12th. And then we have a couple of DNFs, which is always, unfortunately, it does happen. We're just waiting for Craig Deeks to finish. He's 1 lap behind. He's 1 lap behind. Does it show him going off anywhere? I wonder if he's had some penalties. He's only got 5 incident points. Simon Ashbourne has 12, Aaron has 12, George has 0. George has got no incident points. Ashbourne spent a lot of time off the track. Butcher got a disqualification and Nick Papadin rolled it. Luke Dugdale, I think Luke broke his suspension. Luke is coming up with 1 incident point. I think he broke his suspension. No doubt he'll probably tell us at some point. But we have to wait for the rest of the drivers to finish. What a race. What a sensational. I don't think they're still going round, are they? No. Yeah, so that's how it finishes. What a race. So Poddy, I was going to say Poddy Ashbourne then. Poddy finishes in 1st. Bullen finishes in 2nd. Aaron takes a 3rd, another podium. George finishes in 4th, which is... It's good for the points, but it's bad for his championship. Neil finishes in 5th. Markham is in 6th. T-Joke's in 7th, which is good for his championship. Ashbourne is in 8th. Clough is in 9th, which is really good for his championship. Alexander is in 10th. And the reason I say that, I will get to that. Speedy Gone Hog is in 11th. Craig Deek is in 12th. Has he broken something? The question is, has he broken something? Because he's really off pace. No, he's just. I don't think he's having a fun time. And yeah, so there is your official race results as it stands for this evening. Nobody was anywhere near Poddy. He was just in a different league to everybody else, but still not as fast as qualifying. Tyre wear is on 2 times. Which is also a reason it could be, which is the way that it currently is. Fastest lap is Poddy, and race winner is Poddy Flack. And that's how it stacks up for the first races of the evening. Let's see if anybody is in the comms chat. There's nobody in there at the minute. If they pop in, I'll go. And it's coming up on the board. So apparently there was a really weird issue in terms of sluggish. Apparently there's some issues with the game. Which is really, really weird. There's lots of people in here talking about tyres as well. We're going to go across to the camera and we'll wait for anyone to come in. So hello, welcome back to the commentary box. If it's your first time with us, hello and welcome, because I can see quite a few of you. Please ask your questions. Chris is in there. I remember I started with all back in the day. Benny's in there as well. There's a couple of people in the background I can see as well. So it is getting really, really interesting in terms of what we are seeing. Which is really, really weird. So we're seeing a lot, basically. It seems to be some sluggish stuff in the games, but looking at the server, we don't use, because everyone uses something called SimGP, which is a dedicated server. But SimGP, we don't use. We have our own dedicated server. It's completely different, and the ping rates all stay about 8 or 10. So there could be someone who is being sluggish. Yeah, I don't know. Something's going on in here, but it is what it is. We're going to pop across now to the driver's box. We'll go for that one, and hopefully we can pick up some people. Mike, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm just going to turn off that Raceroom feed. Race 1 looked absolutely... Poddy, first of all, before we get to yourself, Poddy just looked like he was in a completely different league.
Poddy drove really well, showed the pace in quali. I will say the gap, I think, was a little bit flattering because I had 2 big slowdowns.
Yes, we saw that. And then...
So And then I was battling to get back past Aaron, but then Aaron had to slow down, so I got back past him naturally. But within that, I'd say 2 of those 5 seconds are probably from that. But it's still a great drive from him, and it's great to see somebody else win a race this season.
Which means that he's now out of the Dugdale Trophy.
Indeed.
So that's another driver that's completely gone out the Dugdale Trophy. So the way it's going, there'll be nobody left at the current rate. So the last thing I want to pick on, because obviously there is 2 other drivers in here. So I've got Russ and Simon and Mike with me. If I don't get to them all, I will get to them on the next driver interview. The last thing I really want to pick up, there seems to be, as you come through the complex into Beckett's, that seems to be where a lot of people are getting pinged for track limits.
Is
that where you got yours, or is this one of these things I'm not going to tell anybody because I'm in the hunt here?
No. It was turn 1 for me twice. I just overcut turn 1, and just got it a little bit wrong. That was it basically. Well, that was it for me.
Well,
so,
good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck for race 2. I am going to cut you in there because I want to try and I'll probably get to Simon. If I don't get to Russ, I will get to Russ on the second one. So good luck for race 2.
Cheers.
We're going to pick up Simon. I've got Russ with me, but I don't think I'll be able to talk to him, so I do apologise, Russ. But I will get to you in between race 2 and 3. Simon, just quickly, that first race opening lap. What happened? Well, it just looked like everyone was piling in. Everyone got good starts, and then it took a couple of corners for everyone to sort themselves out, would be the way I would describe it.
Could describe it like that. You could describe it as me being punted out of the race pretty much in the first lap.
Okay.
I got punted from behind into turn 3, I think, the tight right-hander. That put me down a few places, like 7th or 8th, and then coming into the complex at the end of the lap, I was on the outside and I just got side-swiped onto the grass. So that was it, last place, nothing I can do. And then I was having a good battle at the end, and I think Choki outbraked himself and pushed me off track there. But I mean, that was just one of those late braking things. But yeah, it was a pretty messy lap one. I was really surprised with my qualifying. I got 5th or 6th on the grid, and I wasn't expecting that because I was really struggling. But I've moved the brake bias back a little bit, which has helped the car rotate, and I've suddenly found some pace. So hopefully I can get a result out of the second or third race now.
I mean,
I was a bit disappointed because I've not had reason to submit any complaints so far, but I'm going to have to tonight after lap 1 because that was atrocious.
But I suppose it's one of those things, just quickly before we go, is that statistically at some point it will happen. If you think about it, I mean, it's one of those things that eventually you're either going to be in one, cause one, or be part of one, or the end result of one. Like I said, we only ever see one thing in the combox, so I'm a bit like Mark, like Brundle. I'll give my opinion. Whether it's right or wrong is another thing. But there's some positives from it though. Great in that second phase. You had great race pace, and it's really good for the championship as well because Poddy won. He's now out of the Dugdale Trophy.
Oh,
so,
right.
Yeah,
okay.
He won the race, so he won it by about 5 seconds. So he's now out of it. So you're now with 2 races to go. Really going to have to start thinking about, it's that victory, not victory thing. So, if you're not in the lobby, I'd recommend it because we're about 8 seconds to go.
Yeah, I'm in the lobby.
Fantastic. Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you now, and I will pick you up from race 2 and race 3.
Lovely.
And good luck. Good luck.
Bye.
We've also got Russ Butcher in here. Maybe I can get out. We'll get about in race. Yeah, they'll get a time to lobby up, which will be about 10 seconds. Real quick, Russ. Real quick question. Disqualification in race 1.
Yeah.
We only picked it up on the board. The only bit we got from the heli camera was the car going off the road and then a disqualification. That's about as much as we got.
I had a slow down through the complex first part on the run to the straight. I had a slow down. So at the end of the straight, I was serving it a little bit, ran a little bit further, a little bit wide through that right-hander, well, is it farm or whatever it is, before you go to the chicane, and then the game just booted me out.
Oh. Gutty.
So
But
I don't really know
with 20
what
seconds,
happened.
20 seconds to go. But don't forget the positive here. You'll be near the front for race 3. There's always a
thanks,
positive.
mate.
Always a positive. Right, I'm going to let you go, and I'll pick you up after race 2, because otherwise I won't get in time. Right.
No worries.
Good
Cheers,
luck.
pal.
Right. Here we go.
Cheers,
we're
mate.
going to go racing because we're actually on the board. That's how close we are. So get ready. This is race 2. Will Podiflack take the position again? Will he be able to hold on to it? It's all going to be lights out and away we go. The question is, who's had a good start? Mike Bullen is right there with him, right up the rear side. Aaron has managed to get a good start as well. He holds into 3rd. T-Joke's in 4th. Neil is holding it on. Markham, there he is. He's in the Hyundai. We have Link, Honda, and then a bunch of whole gaggle of other cars through the left side that they go in. They're trying to sort themselves out. Ashbourne is down in 9th position through the right side. Does he hold on to it? Yes, he does. He's going to make some real places up. They've all managed to be less squabbly in this section of the race. Nick Papadim is right at the back with Luke and Russ, but Podiflack is breaking that toe. There he is. He's the car in front. He's the number 11. Mike is in the 88, but as we ride now from the rear view camera of 3rd place man, there is 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th, and we can see here that the battle is heating up in the middle of the field. Up the inside goes Michael Clough, but he doesn't get it done enough. He rotates the car, it slows down, it wiggles, and he's left the door open for Ashbourne. Ashbourne is that Hyundai right size, number 19, sticks his nose up the front. These two, a little bit of a love tap between both of them, but he surely should get a much better transition than the car in front. Yes, he does. No, he doesn't. Yes, he does. Sensational move from Ashbourne. Into 8th position he goes. Neil is now attacking George. There you go. You've got 9th, 10th and 11th all fighting each other. No, he isn't. He's left it up. T-Joke now is the blocker in this massive cork of cars behind him. There is T-Joke. He's in the 55. Ashbourne is in the number 19. The question is, there is Speedy Gone Hog in the only driver driving the other car, which is the one I've forgotten that's from Germany. VW, that one. Luke's gone off into the distance and he's managed to rejoin. He'll get points for that. Slowdown will be coming. The question is who is going to do this? This is 7th and 8th and 7th. Who is going to get up the side? Is Ashbourne going to get the job done? Is a reverse from race 1 as he goes up through the right-hander here, down into the Vale, then into the club complex. This should be job done. He just needs to be little late breaker. Watch out as you see Clough attempting to sail it up the inside. Very, very scruffy from all those three, and he's going to pay the ultimate price for that. He's put it on 2 wheels and it's reverse back osmosis all over again. So T-Joke holds on to 7th position. Clough is in 8th, and if he carries that on, he's going to break a lot more of his break a lot more than what he just did. Ashbourne there in 19th. He's going to get his elbows out now, and he's going to attempt to go round the outside as we go through into the right-hander here. That was Vale into farm or village or whatever it is, I've forgotten, through the left side into the village, into the Link, then into Beckett, which is then comes down to the Hangar Straight, and this is where we're going to be building up the speed as we ride on board with Ashbourne. He's in 9th position, and you can see just ahead he's closing and closing and closing on Michael Clough. He needs to apply the pressure. At the moment, Simon Ashbourne, who we're riding on board with, doesn't have any pressure from Kane Alexander, and as a result he's going to be able to strike it. This is 8th position. He's fighting the man in front, but also defending from the man behind, as is often the case in touring cars. And now the problem is, as you see in the background, Nick Papadim in the 34. He is now chasing Butcher. So 13th, 14th and 15th all finish last. Stevie Gone Hog is up to 11th. There he is. He's in that number 12. 12, 23. There he is. Not 1, 2, 3. 4th car in the row. The one with the Union Jack on the roof. Boom! There he is, highest place so far. He's chasing down the man in front, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it. He just doesn't have the confidence at the moment. That is, Butcher sails it up the inside. He gets the car stopped, leaves enough racing room, gets the job done. Butcher takes a sensational 11th position. Ashbourne in 8th and 9th hasn't decided to give it up. There's Nick Papadim in the 34. Craig Deeks is now right at the back in 15th position. The problem he's now got as we ride on board with Nick Papadim in 14th, his day has been going from bad to worse, but he will hopefully in race 3 have a much better better race 3. That's Butcher. Butcher has gone wide. Or is that the Hog? No, it's the Hog's gone wide. And that's allowed the 52 of Luke Dugdale, which is the Dugdale's trophy is named after him, to go up the inside. But Nick Papadim says, thank you very much. I'll rob the lot of you. Stevie Gone Hog's gone off. He'll definitely get a slow down for that. And the rest of the field will check themselves out. Luke's gone wide. He'll get a slow down for that. And they're all being careful. Now, at the front, Poddy Flack isn't really making the same inroads that he made in the last race. So, Poddy Flack is your race winner from race 1. He's also the race leader. Fastest time's at 107.951, and we know he can do 107s, low 107s. We saw that in qualifying. Right behind that, you've got Mike Bullen. There he is, he's the 88. Then you've got Aaron in third, followed by George, who's kind of at the moment, he's just progressing enough away from Neil, but not enough to cause him any problems. Neil's biggest thing now is he's fighting Simon Ashbourne, who is down in 11th. And Ashbourne, there he is in 9th position. He's surely going to get past Clough. This is just a matter of time. Clough there is going to stick his elbows out. Question is he going to stick them out enough? No, he isn't. Ashbourne's going to attempt to go. He's just going to go through the cutback here and get a much better drive. Kane Alexander, who's in the car behind, as we ride from the rear view camera now of 9th position, in 10th the 68. That is the Cyan Volvo Chinese thing of the 68 of Kane Alexander. He is a very race winner, only race winner, but again, still no podiums bar the one that he won. So he's holding on to that position fantastically, and you just get the feeling, yeah, he's done it. Ashbourne's done it. He's forced Clough into a mistake. Clough has just, he just left the door wide open. Has he broken his suspension again? It's right on board. It's right on board with Clough. Has he busted his suspension? No, wheels are all pointing in the right way. Simon is just on it, and he should get up to 8th. He should get up to 7th without any real problems. And then he will be able to push forward. Flack is still winning. He's still winning in the front at the moment. He is currently leading the race through the left-hand side. And you can see as we ride from the front view camera here of Mike Bullen. It's around 0.5 of a second. And they're about matching each other on that last lap, the one that we've just not crossed. Mike Bullen was faster by 1/10. Poddy Flack and Mike Bullen has closed the gap again, only by 0.07 of a second. So it's not enough to do any real damage. Now, Ashbourne is going to go around the side of T-Joke. Ashbourne is just in a field of his own today. He's managed to really find he's just found a second gear. He might have the red mist in this race, but look at him go. He's up to 7th, and as a result, where's T-Joke going to go? He's going backwards and backwards. Has T-Joke broke his suspension? T-Joke there, second in the queue. Boom, the 55, Sayat, that's who he is. The question is, has he broke his suspension? Has he done damage? Has the tyres started to run out? The problem they've got, George has had a slow down penalty. It's not going to really cause him any problem because he's kind of in no man's land. T-Joke is going to get passed by Clough. I suspect Clough is just going to sail it up the inside. They're going to give each other a little bit of room. T-Joke leans on him, but not enough to cause any real damage. And as a result, they go up round the inside. Do they hit the brakes? He should get this done. Michael Clough should have this job done. But as we see now, riding from Kane Alexander, he is now in a meat sandwich between the car in front. That is 8th place man. That is T-Joke. Right behind him, his Butcher. He got disqualified in race 1. He's up to 10th, started at the back. He's really starting to gain some places. Kane Alexander is really starting to apply the pressure to T-Joke. The question is, can he do it without losing a place? Butcher tabs the rear of the car, gets the car in a slide, but fantastically gets it stopped. Kane tries to go up the inside, but it's not going to be enough. Butcher is all over the back of that Volvo, the number 68. He's going to go up the inside. They're banging doors side by side. One will run wide, the other one will go up the inside, but it's not going to be enough because the problem now as we ride on with Kane Alexander is he's going to get a lovely tow. The car in front, that 23, will be punching the hole in the air, and as a result 10th and 9th and 8th are all going to surely sail it up the inside of T-Joke. T-Joke is just going backwards and backwards and backwards. Has he broken something? That can't be just raw pace. It surely can't be raw pace because he's just not that slow. To be perfectly honest, T-Joke is never that slow. Has he done some damage? Is it hurting his car? Because T-Joke in 9th position. When we were at Monza, he had 100 kilograms on board and he was faster than the rest of the field. But here, he is just getting mugged corner after corner, lap after lap. They're all going to get past him, but we're going to leave that battle and join the battle for 5th. So for 4th, so in 4th position, it's this man here, Stu Neal. Right behind that in the number 18 Honda. That is Aaron Markham. He's 5th, don't forget. He's a race winner. Brands Hatch took 2 victories there. He's wanting to get another one on his tally. He wants another podium. I don't think he's going to be close enough, but he's surely going to get the drive as he comes up now into the far right-hander of Stowe. Can he do it? There to the right hand, Stu has gone defensive. He's going to plonk the car right on the apex, but does that allow the Honda to sweep up the inside? It does, but he's going to be on the outside as they come down to Vale into the club complex. Has he got the job done? Has he got the car stopped? Does he sail it up the inside? No. Sensational there from Aaron. He now has to fend off the fight from Stu Neal. Stu's taken a tighter corner down the hanger straight. Oh, Aaron's run wide. He's run wide, but has he held on to it? No. There's still, yes, no, yes, yes, he's done it. Fantastic stuff. Aaron's into 4th. Stu Neal is down to 5th, but he's not really fighting that man because 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th all have won a race. This man's nearest championship rival is right behind him. 4 minutes 13 to go. Now, this is where it's going to get toasted because in 5th position is Stu Neal. In 6th position is Simon Ashbourne. Ashbourne, there he is, the 19 Hyundai. He is 2 seconds of a lap faster than the man in front. 2 seconds on that last lap. It was a 110.9 versus a 108.9. The question is, can Ashbourne do anything? Can Ashbourne get there? It is a 1 minute and 10 second lap. So they will get 3, can do this. That's 6 seconds. Watch that gap, left side of your screen. That's what we're watching. 1.3. He's already got it down to 1.1. Ashbourne, there's a natural Constantina effect here as the cars bunch themselves up. This is the battle now. Can Ashbourne, can the man, 3rd car in the row? It's Honda versus Link versus Hyundai. Which one of these is going to be victorious? As we ride on board now with Ashbourne, the man who has all the beans in his pocket. The question is he going to grow a seed from this? Down into 2nd gear, 5th, 4th, 3rd, into 2nd through the right-hander. He needs to just keep it on the black stuff. Don't do any heroics here. He's got that gap nearly to under a second over the Link through the right-hander into Beckett's. He'll be building up that speed. The gap is now under a second. In less than half a lap, he's knocked off half a second in that last lap. He's still a second faster than the man in front. He should be near as enough, makes no difference, right up the tailpipe of the man in front. That's the problem Neal's got. We're riding on board with him now in 5th position. The battle is on. The chase is on between 5th and 6th position. There is 6th. Hyundai right behind. There's the smoke of the exhaust. Through the right-hander we go as we ride to the front view camera of Ashbourne. He is chasing the man in front. He's building it up. Look at that gap. Nearly less than 2 minutes ago, that was 1.4 seconds. It's now less than 8 tenths. Well, it's just over 8 tenths, but that's nearly less than 8 tenths. They'll get a natural Constantina effect through this section. The problem they're going to have is, can that man there, the 100 Lincoln Coat Neal, can he hold off to it? Can he deliver this? It's 155. They will get, it's going to be close. It's going to be close to halfway around the lap. They might get 2 more laps on the board. The question is, what is the board coming up with? Estimated lap time is 1.5. So there will be 2 more laps. There is Aaron. He's trying to break the toe. There is a big difference between blocking and breaking the toe. That was breaking the toe. It wasn't excessive weaving because the car is not close enough to launch up the inside. If the car behind was within effectively a car's width, then you'd be doing it. Oh, there's Ashbourne. Ashbourne is now right on the rear end of Neal. This is important for the championship. This is important for the Dugdale Trophy. He needs to get a good drive through the right side. Neal has ballast. He will be suffering. That Hyundai has no ballast as we ride on board. Ashbourne is less than 2 tenths of a second. This is it. He's going to go for it up the inside into Abbey. Has he got it done? This is an audacious move. He needs to keep it kittens. Does he hold on to it? Oh, there's contact between the 2 drivers. The contact between the 2 through the right-hander. The question is, can he hold on to it? Can he do this? He just has to sit behind the driver ahead and he'll be able to hold on to it. He'll be able to deliver this. He can do this. It's not over yet. He's right up the rear end. D-Joke and Butcher are still fighting, but we're going to stay with this battle here. Ashbourne now, he's going to get a lovely toe from the Lincoln Co. just ahead. Look at him gaining. He's gaining, he's gaining, he's gaining. He's 1/10 of a second. He should have stayed in the rear end. He has to force Neil to go the long way round. Can he cut up the inside? Can he do this? I don't think, unless there's a late brake manoeuvre, unless he sails it up the inside. What are you doing, heli camera? Sort your life out. He's not going to be able to do it. Ashbourne has gone defensive. Sorry, Neil's gone defensive. I think that's it. I think it's game over as we get to 1 second. There could be one more lap. There could be one more lap. Where is Poddy? Poddy's still on a lap. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. There's one more lap to go. Ashbourne can still do this. Ashbourne just needs to keep it nice and tidy now. Get the lovely toe from the Lincoln Co. just ahead. So he can do this. He's got to go late brake here. Sail it up the inside and hold that it holds the car. He's gone up. Little contact between the two. Holds onto it. It was an audacious move. He just couldn't get the car stopped. All rotated. Sensational stuff through the right-hander. How close? He's 3/10 of a second. He's 3/10. I don't think he's done it. He should have, like I said, this is where Simon should have held on to the inside. But it is what it is. I'm not racing. That's why I'm in the com box. He's going to have to do something magnificent here to sail it up the inside. Holds onto it nice and tidy. Do nothing heroic. That's it. Getting much tighter line. Drives the car out of the corner. Force the Lincoln Co. to go wide. If he pulls it across, sensational. He's hit him. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. Where is the replay button? I'm going to hit that button and we'll look at it. Ashbourne there. Ashbourne has spun out. Where does he finish? Where does Ashbourne finish? Down in 11th position. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. Stu Neal in 5th position. Holds on to it. Who's your race winner? I didn't even finish that. So Poddy's your race. Where's Mike Bullen? I think I don't know. Mike Bullen's gone off into the stratosphere. I think there might be a problem with the game. Where's Mike Bullen? A DNF. I think either my game's crashed or something's gone wrong. So we'll leave it at that. So Poddy Flack, 107. Aaron's second. George is third. Markham is fourth. Neil is fifth. Clough is sixth. Butcher is seventh. T-Joke is eighth. Papa Dim is ninth. Alexander is 11th. Kane Alexander is the 10th. Ashbourne 11th, Hogg is 12th. Not sure what happened to the other ones. I think Luke got a disqualification. Right, let's go across to the replay. I'm pretty sure I picked the replay button up. Hopefully this still works. Yes, I did. Again, we can only ever see one race view. So Simon's up the inside here. I wonder if I can slow this down. Hold on. Yes, I can. Nope. No, I can't. Simon's up the... Ooh, let's have another look at that one. Trying to look at the replay again. As always, we can only ever analyse it from one point of view, so I always say that we always have to look at a million other... there's always a million other things that can go on. I pressed the wrong button. I don't know. That's one of those tricky ones, I think, where you always need extra footage in terms of what the car in front was going, because the rule is one defensive move, which it looks like it was. It's one of those very, very tricky situations. The car behind wasn't far enough, but again, if he's made it all comes down to that defensive move. That's what it comes down to. But as I always say on these things, time and time again, as I always say on these things, is we only ever get one camera view. There are... there's millions of other camera views that go on in terms of what people can see and what they pick up. I've got to find the server again, and then we will jump in. So yeah, it's always one of those things, is that there's always hundreds and hundreds of different camera views. I can only ever really see one, same as you guys, people and non-gender specifics. I don't want to get put in the Facebook jail for that. So yeah, it's always very, very tricky in terms of what we've got in here. Right, we're going to go across to the comm stream. Well, we're going to attempt to go across to the comm stream, but it looks like we're having some serious issues with... can I join this? I don't know what's going on. So I'm trying to get into the comm stream. But for whatever reason... Right, we're going to load and reload Discord, and we're going to see if that fixes my problem. Yeah, as I said, we only ever get one camera view, so it's always going to be one of those things that can end up being a debate, or it can end up being... I don't want to delete the channel, we might get in trouble with that. How do I go back? Review. Escape. It can always be one of those things, really. There we go. We finally got in here after about 20 minutes. As always, I've only got 3 minutes 35 remaining, so I'm going to go across to Butcher to begin with, just because I said I talked to Butcher, and that's pretty much as much time I'm going to get, unfortunately, Aaron and Simon, but I will end up chatting to them after race 3, which is the final race. So Butcher, Butcher, sorry, take us through that last race. It looked a lot better in that race.
Yeah, I wasn't kicked out after 6 corners. Yeah, it was much better.
Well, at least that's better than last time. Is it? So, it's a bit odd because the server's coming up with no. It's like the server's fine because the server's showing it's pinging correctly at less than 10. So it doesn't even look like you're spiking. Is it a game crash? We're now moving into more technical things.
I haven't a clue, but while I was waiting, I did jump onto another server quickly just to do a bit of practice while I was waiting. And it came up, and as soon as I left the pits, it came up and gave me a slowdown penalty for some reason. So I don't know whether it has had a little bit of a glitch and...
had a wobbly.
Yeah.
That's weird. Is you getting the black screen? We're now progressing into game talk with 2 minutes. Is it a black screen, or is it just boot you back to the restart screen?
No, it just kicked me straight into the pits for some reason.
Oh.
I was midway through going through the chicane at the end of the lap, and... yeah, it threw me out.
I wonder if there's an error.
But
it's a bit odd. It's a bit odd. That's really weird. That is because it seems to be because usually when there's a huge failure, I'm always the first one to get kicked out.
There's something weird going on in that last sector because I was getting a blue flag right by the pit.
Yes, so was I.
See, that's weird.
Something weird going on.
So it looks like it's a race room problem.
Yeah, could well be, yeah.
Which is very, very peculiar.
I think Michael Clough said he was getting a similar issue as well.
Yeah, I was getting blue flags every lap into the chicane, yeah.
That's weird.
If there was someone under a second or so behind me, I was getting blue flags into the chicane.
I'm trying to see if there's anything on the channel. Oh, no, they're not coming up with anything else. No one's reported anything.
Yeah, to answer your question, Andy, yeah, it was a much better second race than it was first one.
Yeah, we digressed to a completely different subject there, completely. Yeah, it's just odd. It's really odd that it's affecting... It's interesting to see post-race how many people that affected, actually. Because if it's affected a lot, as always, no doubt there'll be lots and lots of different conversations about it. But it's just weird that it's around a second and a half. And then it gives you a blue flag. But, you know, unfortunately, I'm in the comm box. There's not a lot I can do about that, to be honest. You know,
no, that's fine, mate.
If I'm being honest on that side of it. But with 40 seconds to go, I'm going to let you go. Hopefully,
Thanks,
you don't
mate.
get booted out of the last race.
I hope not. We'll
hopefully
try.
You don't get booted out of the last race. But it looks like, from what you said, that there's actually a race room issue, which is really peculiar. It's very peculiar. So I'll keep an eye on the chats and see if anything pops up. But I better let you go because we're going to go racing momentarily.
All right, mate.
All I can say is good luck for race 3. Good luck. So that's it. It looks like there is some challenging issues going on in terms of the drivers and what's happening. Yeah, but there's not a lot I can do about it, really. It's one of those things, unfortunately. I do feel for them. I really, really do feel for their championship. You know, it's frustration. I do get that. But yeah, unfortunately, I'm not in a position that I can actually do anything from here. So, yeah, we'll go across to the final race of the season. It's just odd, final race of the season. It's very peculiar. This is it. So they'll have 90 seconds to go. We'll check in the chat, see if there's any. Yeah, it's odd that it's affecting some drivers and not affecting other drivers. I'm going to have a quick look in the race room chat. So I do keep an eye on some of the other socials while I've got a couple of minutes. And we will see if there is a problem. But again, it's one of those things. It's yeah. I mean, that's again why we run drop scores. That's the whole point of drop scores for a situation like this. Yes. Yeah. So it looks like some people are having some issues, but not everybody, which is very peculiar. So here we go, holding on to the last race of the season. This is a reverse grid, so this is where Poddy's really going to struggle from the back of the grid. Can he do anything from here? Hold on to your horses. Final race of the evening. Reverse grid, and it's lights out, and away we go. They've absolutely launched the cars off the line. Nick Papadim should have ultimate winning ragging rights here. He should go into the lead, but he's thought better of it because Butcher there in the 23 has got him right sewn up into the first corner. The question is, as they all sail into this first corner, who is going to be the big winner? Who is going to be the big loser? They're all side by side, 3 into 1, don't go. Ashbourne has managed to get himself sorted in there, and up behind Hogg into 7th he goes. Sensational stuff there from Ashbourne. Luke Dugdale is right at the back of Papadim, but he's got Kane Alexander and Michael Clough right behind him. There is Cloughie. He's in the number 12, 4th in the line. He's now hunting down the 52. That is Luke Dugdale. There is Russ Butcher right at the front in the 23. If he gets more than 6 laps, he will be loving it. The question is, has he jinxed it from this section on? Through the right hander we go down into Vale. That takes us into the club complex. It is 2 by 2 as they come through to the left. There is Clough in the 12, and he's just had a disconnect. What's going on? So he's just been kicked out of the lobby. I cannot believe that. Nick Papadim is right behind him. Here he is in the 34. Just ahead of him is Russ Butcher. Can Butcher hold on to this? Right behind that is Poddy, and behind that is Markham. There he is holding on to 7th position. Just he's side by side with T-Joke. So there is T-Joke in the 55 on the left side. That is Aaron Markham. On the right side is Stu Neal. Stu Neal there holding on to 9th position. Ashbourne is up to 5th. T-Joke is then going to get mugged by Aaron. Aaron's on the outside going into Beckett's. They're all squabbling each other, trying to hold on to the position. T-Joke is really suffering with the ballast, and now he's in a massive cluster of cars. The question is he in a big enough of cluster for him to be able to do anything? Through the left side here, can he hold on to it? Can he deliver this? Can Stu Neal say, nah, Stu Neal thinks better of it. He's thought, no, I'm just thinking about my championships here. Through the right side, Russ Butcher is now still fighting the lead from Nick Papadim. There is Nick Papadim in the 34. Right behind him, Poddy Flax had a disconnect. What is going on? It is what it is, though, so we'll just keep going. With 12 minutes 40 remaining, Butcher is leading. He's in 1st and 2nd position. It's Nick Papadim. In 3rd position is Luke Dugdale. In 4th position is Ashbourne, who's being hunted down by Kane Alexander and Stevie Gone Hogg. Markham is in 7th. T-Joke is in 8th. Neil is in 9th. George is in 10th. Bullen is in 11th. And Large is right at the back. See how many times you've seen 3 wide and clean? Never. In the background, you see Bullen. He's trying to go around the outside of everybody, but he's not being able to do it. He's holding on to that position. Aaron Large is right at the back. Kane Alexander, they've all got massive flags coming up on the board. I'm not sure why they've got these flags coming up on the board, but Simon Ashbourne is doing enough. He's 1.5 seconds ahead behind the man in front, but Nick Papadim, there he is in 2nd position, is running down the man in front. There he is in 1st position. That is Butcher. Butcher is just ahead. Right behind him is Nick Papadim. We're riding on 2nd. Butcher there, like he said, he'd done 6 laps, and then it all went south fast. The question is, can he do more than 6 laps this race? Through the right-hander, it only seems to be affecting a select few of drivers. Through the right-hand side, can he build it up? Can he do anything from this position? He's holding on to everything. Can he deliver? Can he hold on to it? Can he deliver this through the right hand, holding onto it, holding up? I need that button, it's the wrong one. Through the left hand side we go. Nick Papadim, these two have now broken away. Kane Alexander is right up the rear end, so this is the battle for 3rd. In 3rd position is that 19. T-Joke is going to attempt to go up the inside of Aaron, but that's not going to happen. Stevie Gone Hogg is being the cork in this bottle. There he is, riding from the review camera of Speedy Gone Hogg. There he is, he's in 5th position. right side. Oh no, he isn't. This is Aaron. Aaron has got the job done, and now it's going to be an alt-right drag, but we leave that and we rejoin the battle for the lead. So in the lead is Nick Papadim. There is Nick Papadim in the 34. On the rear end of that, the 23, that is Butcher. So Butcher has lost the position. It was an outright drag to the end of the race. 10 minutes 33 were going, so he's done 4 laps. It's at lap 6 where we start to see drivers kick out. Through the right-hand side here, can he do anything? Can Butcher hold on to this? This would be an absolute stonking win for him. There is Ashbourne. He's in 3rd, but look at Tijo. He is a massive cork in the bottle. There he is. He's in 6th position. Right behind that in 7th, that is Stu Neal. In 8th position, that is Mike Bullen. Behind that is Speedy Gone Hog. Behind that is Aaron Large. Oh, a little bit of a tab of the brakes there, but look at Speedy Gone Hog as we ride from the rear view camera. He's in 9th. There is 10th and 11th. That's effectively the rear end of the field. We've lost Doug, and they've all gone up the inside. I think he's just going to let him go. Well, he is and he isn't. He's going to leave him enough room to let them through, but not enough room to let them pass. Sensational stuff. And does he hold it on? No, he doesn't. George gets the job done in the 96, but now riding on board with Butcher. He's in 2nd. Just ahead of that is 1st place. In 1st place is Nick Papadim. The question is, through the right-hander we go. This is Stowe Corner, which takes us down into Vale. 4th gear corner, squealing the tyres. Riding from the rear view camera now of Nick Papadim. He's in 1st, don't forget. There is 2nd. That is Butcher, 23rd. White Audi versus Renault. The French versus the Germans. Question is, who's going to win this battle? Through the right-hander we go. This is Club Complex, then round on to the Hamilton Straight. We leave this battle and rejoin the battle for 6th. So, in 6th position is the 55. That is T-Joke. On the left side is Stu Neal. He's in 7th. In 8th is Mike Bullen. He's slowly but surely progressing up the field. The question is he going to progress up the field enough? Through the right-hander we go. This is Farm down now. That was Abbey, sorry. This is Farm. Does Stu Neal sail it up the inside? No, he thinks better of it. They're all starting to spread themselves out. Through the left-hander here. Can he do anything? Can he deliver this? Can he get a race result? Butcher's still in 2nd as it currently stands. Neil is holding on to 7th, but Aaron is now attacking in 4th position. So Kane Alexander is 4th as we ride on board with Markham. He's in 5th, don't forget. He's in a Honda. He's in that white and black Honda. He's just going to go up the inside here. He's got much better late brakes and go through the right side. Can he get the car stopped? Can he get it rotated? Through the left side now, he backs out of it. He's backing out of it from that position. Goes nice and easy through the left side, holds onto the corner, gets the job done, says thank you very much. Sensational stuff there from him. T-Joke, once again, there he is in 8th position, riding on board now with Stu Neal in 7th. He's going to attempt to go up the inside, but is he going to go up the inside quick enough? This was a like for like. He's thought better of it. He's let off the accelerator. That's a very tricky move to go through there, through the right-hander and over 90 miles an hour before you come up into Village. But look at Mike Bullen. There he is in the 88, riding on board now with Mike Bullen. He is in 8th position, and you can see here, he is getting closer and closer and closer to the driver ahead. Through the right, oh, he goes too much curbs, he'll break the suspension. He's building up that speed. T-Joke from the rear view camera, he's gone defensive. It's a Renault versus a Link versus a Honda that would just poked itself out and then poked itself back in. There he is, hello! Can he do anything from here? Can he deliver it? I don't think T-Joke's got the muster. Look how much confidence Mike Bullen has in the brakes. He's going to attempt to go around the lot of them. He's going to have to be clever to sail it up the inside here, or be committed to get the job done. Gets the car stopped just enough. Into the club complex we go. It is a three-way battle for 5th position. Butcher's still in the game. Ashbourne is in 3rd, holding on to it. There is Ashbourne, followed by Kane Alexander, followed by Markham. And then we've got the battle for 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th. Basically, the rest of the field is stuck together like glue. We've lost Doug, Flack and Clough. I'm not sure why. Could be another game issue that's going on. I have seen that in other servers. Holds on the brakes. Does Bullen? He's going to have to be super aggressive going through that section. He's so much more confident, but he doesn't have the ballast on board. That is the key. That is the key for this 88, the purple Honda in 8th position, who's chasing down T-Joke, championship leader, don't forget, in 7th position. There he is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5th, now the 4th, now the 3rd, now the 2nd car in your picture, the number 55, Sayad. He is chasing down Stu Neal, who's in 6th position, riding on board now with Mike Bullen in 8th position. He gains and gains and gains with 5 minutes 55 remaining. The lap invalid board has gone absolutely crazy. It's so close. Through the left side, through the right corner we go into club. Too much. This is where Nick Papadim rolled it in race 1. Mike Bullen, the Yamaworks guy, is he going to be able to do anything? T-Joke riding from the rear view camera now of T-Joke into 7th position, building up that speed, riding from the front camera of Mike Bullen. He's now the car that isn't in the middle of this. He's got to get a shifty on with 5 minutes 25 remaining, 2/3 to go. George has had a slowdown penalty, not sure why, but he'll have to shave that off. But he's gaining, I think, that's why he gained, his last sector was 29.9, and everyone else was, he's basically had it for a little bit of running a little bit wide off track. Mike Bullen's had a slowdown penalty again. The question is it the game that's doing this? But it is what it is. You can't fix it, so there we go. In 8th position, there he is, Mike Bullen. He is chasing down the 55. He'll have about 60 seconds to remove this penalty. So he can be clever through the right-hander of Stowe down into Village. Is that when he hits the club complex, he can actually hit the brakes a little bit earlier and shave it and go slowly through this section. And that's how he'll lose a lot of time in terms of shaving off that time. But he's actually gained because the car ahead, which is T-Joke, he is really suffering with the ballast. That's who we're on board with now. He doesn't really have the ability to attack Stu Neal in 6th. This is the problem he's got as we ride from the front view camera of Mike Bullen. And you can see here, he's just getting closer and closer and closer. He's less than 1/10 of a second. Well, he isn't. He's more than a 10th, but less than 2/10. Can he sail it up the inside? He's so much more confident on the brakes as he goes through. And George has now managed to find some speed in that little, T-Joke's holding everybody up. Oh, there's contact! There's contact! There's contact between the two drivers. I've got that on replay. We'll have a look at that post-race. I think that was a making of George's own design, to be honest, but I did save it with 3 minutes 51 remaining. And that whole incident has caused T-Joke to slow down, and Mike Bullen will take the position. He'll check himself out and say thank you very much. T-Joke tries to sail it up the inside, but he's going to go nowhere fast with that. Aaron, who was started at the back, is still at the back. Through the left side. How is Ashbourne doing? He's kind of in the middle. I'm trying to not focus on those three so they don't get any disconnects. T-Joke there, he's in 8th position. Question now is how far does he go down? It's 3 minutes 19 remaining, which by my poor fag math calculation is 3 more laps. Well, it's 2.8, which is 3 laps. I think he's going to lose that position. Nick Papadim is now 1.2 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. He's managed to get himself into a race-winning position, which is good for Nick Papadim, but I have a funny feeling he will then... That'll be another driver off the Dugdale Trophy. So as a result, I think there'll be like four drivers left for the Dugdale Trophy. Butcher's already a race winner. He's doing a solid job in 23, 2 minutes 42 remaining. The question is, can he deliver anything from this position? Ashbourne's down in 3rd. There he is. He's holding onto it. The question is he holding onto it enough? Yeah, he is. He's 1.6 from the car in front at 1.9. His nearest rival, really, in the championship is Stu Neal. There he is in the 100, and he's not really doing anything. And I think it's only a matter of time between Aaron and T-Joke. I think Aaron's going to mug him at some point with 2 laps remaining at this close to the race. Bullen's there now on the back of Neal. So Bullen on that last lap, they've all had invalid. Wow, a 1:08.882. Still not the fastest lap. That's Nick Papadim at a 1:08.698. So he's doing that. Kane Alexander, and he's not going to do anything from there. So Aaron has been stuck behind Kane Alexander for the entire race, basically. So Kane Alexander is slowly but surely starting to deliver and starting to slowly climb up the standings. He came out last week with a race win, and because of that, look at him, he's just so much more confidence in the Lincoln Co. This is a power-hungry track, don't forget, so it will suit that high-ratio gearbox in the 68 of the Lincoln Co. The problem they're going to have is tyres. Tyres is going to be a real problem in this game at this section with 1 minute 19 remaining. If Nick Papadim he's already crossed the lap. So what Nick really needs to do now, 1:08, does he cross the lap to lap 13? he needs to lose off 2 seconds and this to be the last lap. Butcher's down in third, Butcher's in second, Ashbourne's in third, Kane's in fourth, and I think Kane has, I think he's sorted himself out now. I don't think Aaron's really going to be able to attack from that position. Mike Bullen in sixth and seventh is right at the rear end. The question is, can Bullen deliver anything from this section? He's going to have to go right the long way round, and he's thought better of that. He's thought a lot better of that. He's going to try to go wide. And Neil's gone wide. Neil's gone wide. That's going to be a slowdown penalty if I've ever seen one. And as a result, I think Neil might lose that position as it come up on the board. There it is. There it was. But Mike got a slowdown penalty. They both got slowdown penalties. I don't know if they got it at the same time, but look at Aaron. Aaron in the 32 DHL Hyundai. He's going to get the job done on T-Joke on the last lap. Does he get Bullen done? No, he doesn't. Yes, he does. No, he doesn't. He's going to sail it up the inside. A bit of a love tap between the two, but it's tick, tick, tick. Job done. T-Joke's going to have to do something sensational and dangerous. No, he's just thought better of it. He's just thought, it's race 3. I just want the points. I just want to go home and get rid of the ballast. Through the last final 2 corners we go, and that will be the final race of the evening. No doubt there will be hundreds of talking points as they cross the line. What a race! What a sensational race! Nick Papadim's your race winner. So check in the Dougie Trophy. Yeah. So wow. So Nick Papadim is off. Poddy Flack is off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're left with 6 drivers, and I'm pretty sure Ashbourne and Bullen, I'm pretty sure 3 of them are going to win a race. Well, there you go. Fastest lap was Aaron. Race winner was Nick Papadim. Led from start to finish. Led from second, and then was in second. Got the first. Butcher was second, and I've forgotten the rest of the race results. No doubt there will be hundreds and hundreds of talking points because there always is in this type of racing. It was very, very tough. It's really, really weird. Yeah, so it looks like, it looks like there's some issues. It could be to do with Otter Hub. It could be. It's really weird on the board. What's coming up on the board? So it looks like there's It came up as DNF. So it's crashes. The game's crashing basically. So some people have had crashes. I'm talking to the camera like the camera is there, if I'm honest. So I'll go back to the camera. That's the video. We go that one. Pressing all the wrong buttons. So I'm reading here on the screens that we're coming up with now. It just looks like. Yeah, it looks like there's going to be some game issues. So when I actually popped onto the race room, because I can see the chat, it looks like some people, but not everybody, is having some issues with servers at the moment. Everyone's trying to work through them. So it's a bit weird who it's affecting and who it isn't affecting. But unfortunately, it's one of those things. That's what racing is. Unfortunately, in terms of what it is, I'm in the wrong chat, which tends to happen every so often. I want to go into that one. I'm going to have to pop out of this one. Sorry, everybody. So I've popped out of the wrong chat and popped into the right chat. That's the voice channel. It's the comms corner is the one I want. But there's nobody in there at the minute. So it is what it is. So no doubt they'll all be talking to each other. If anyone ever pops over into the... I think I'm in the right one. Let's have a look. No, I'm not. I'm now in the right one. So I'll eventually get there eventually, which is the way, sometimes it does happen. So it looks like this is just random stuff going on. So in here, we've got Simon, Mike, Aaron, and we've got Dougie, actually. So we're going to go to Simon first because I didn't get a real chance to talk to Simon between race 2 and 3. And then I will get to other people as well. Please feel free to add some input, everybody else, but please keep it civil, as I always say. So Simon, race 3. Let's start off with race 3 and the positive of race 3 to begin with. Race 3, you looked like you had it looked like the evening you should have had. Please don't shoot me. Please don't shoot me. But that race 3, you really found a groove in that Hyundai. Was it you were saying that you changed some of the? Was it the brake bias in the second race?
Yeah. In practice, I was struggling to get below a 109. So for the quali, I went a couple of clicks back on the brake bias, and then in each race, then I was going another click back from there. and it just brought the car alive, and it actually rotates now. So I wish I'd messed about with that more earlier in the season.
Because that race 3 looked, again, I don't mean to be rude. It's just an observation. Please don't shoot me, or report me to the Facebook police. That race is the first time I'd safely say I've seen you race like you did towards last season. You just had so much more confidence in the car in that final race. You were more positive with it. Would be the way I'd describe it. You were less nervous, I think. Did you find that? Is that something we just saw, or is it a case of shut up, Andy? Can you just go away?
No, I definitely found the car easier to drive because I've been struggling with massive understeer all season, and that clicking back on the brake bias, I should have thought about it sooner. And it's transformed the car really. So race 3 was good. Race 1 wasn't bad once it got going again and had some good battles coming back through. Race 2 was pretty good as well, but very much mid-pack racing. But it's nice to get a podium towards the end of the season now and start to score some real. But I think there were a lot of people dropped out in that race. And
we lost on average about, I think it was 2 or 3 per race. And I had a quick look on what's it called? The Raceroom chat after race 3, and it seems to be people who have got some random stuff in the background. So I think it's like Otter Hub, or because occasionally what happens is my software, and I've started to see it on the broadcasting software. Some of the bits are missing, which means I'm going to have to reinstall it for the next round. Which says
there was something weird tonight. As soon as I logged on, I started up the game. It was really sluggish. It took ages for loading screens and everything tonight. And I checked my internet connection. That was fine. So I think there was just something a bit weird with the game tonight because it was playing all kinds of weird tricks, like blue flags randomly. And I got yellow flags where there was nothing happening ahead of me. And very, very strange tonight.
I think it's one of those. Unfortunately, I mean, from all the times that we had it once last season. We had it twice in season 1. Occasionally, they just fall over. But that's why we run. It's not good for people who've already had to take a drop score or have not raced in that week. I think that's I understand that. But again, that's why we do run the drop score system to try and overcome these issues. But the server it looks like, from what I can see on the chat, it seems to be with like these custom install software or like Otter Hub and things like that. So it is what it is.
I run Otter Hub through Crew Chief, and I didn't have any problems with that. I think there's just some weird glitching in the game, to be honest.
It's just one of those things, I think.
Apologies to interject, but the issues you were seeing around the blue flags, yellow flags, the timing screen going random, all of a sudden you were 50 seconds behind everyone and then it reset itself. Only happens
just as you pass the pit entry.
Yeah, only happens at Silverstone International.
I wonder if it's the track then.
Weird.
I've seen it at Silverstone International every time I've raced it, whether I'm against the AI or online.
It's a known game glitch, and that's why if you get a slowdown and you haven't slowed down before that zone, the game thinks because
that must have been why.
Yeah,
that must be why Michael Clough got booted out of the second race.
Roughly the same as mine in race 1 as well. Yeah.
The way the time counts down, it thinks that you've actually crossed the line and started another lap. Even though the blue flag comes up, it thinks you're further ahead on track, so it DQs you.
So I think we'll need to take a look at that and perhaps award average points to both Michael and Russ for that.
I think Michael got kicked on lap 1. It was
Russ did as well. Russ had only done 4 corners.
Well, before we get too distracted, we can talk about that in Paulie's pit lane if any of you want to stick around, because that's going to be a talking point. So before we get too dejected off and you try and keep me on till 11:30 at night, I just want to go back to the drivers and put it back around onto topic. And all of you are welcome to stay for pit lane, Paulie's pit lane. We're just going to talk about stuff for 20 minutes. I've got a couple of things I want to talk about. But just before I finish with yourself, Simon. Oh, that sounds so bad. Just before I move on to another. Anyway, do you know what? Good luck, Simon. Fantastic. Nice talking to you. Right. Moving on to Luke.
I've lost it.
This has gone bad. Don't report me. Right. Luke, I think Luke's in here actually a minute. Is he?
I am. Hello.
He is. First time. So Luke Dugdale, which is the trophy's named after at this race. That race, take us through, because I've not talked to you for the whole season, to be honest. This is the first time I've talked to you this season in the game chat. How are you finding it? How did you find that last race? You've had some really good finishes, but you seem to swing between having a really good finish and then a really bad finish.
Yeah, I think most of it's down to practice, because the other week when at Monza I had that really good race, I was doing lots of practice and Russ was guiding me with that. And it's literally, if I get more seat time, I'd just do better. This week just had no time to practice, and I actually did 20 minutes before the race started, basically.
And that was it, and off you went.
Yeah, yeah.
That's mad. So, how you still back in the Audi again? You're back in the Audi, racing in the same team. Are you finding your feet, because obviously it's the practice, but you're still finding it quite easy to drive the Audi? Have you got any ideas you might switch to another car for, obviously for next season, or you go, no, I'm going to stick with the Audi because it's the easiest one, it's the one that you're familiar with?
Yeah, I think for obviously this season, I think I'll stick with the Audi, but I think I'm going to experiment between the seasons, and see if there's anything that maybe suits my style a bit more. Yeah,
because I think the Audi. I mean, I can't drive any of the cars, which is why I don't drive them. But there was that. I think it was last season when you took your race win. I think it's your only race win. I could be wrong.
Was, yeah.
But no, at that point, you really found a sweet spot in that car. So is that down to practice as well at that point, or?
It was. I was actually in that week. I just had nothing to do but practice, and I literally spent a week running up to that race practicing. And again, I spent hours each day just practicing, because I think it was time when I was just off, wasn't doing anything. So I spent hours practicing, and again, it made a result.
Which is absolutely, really, really well done from that one for the race. But it's nice to see you again. It's like that swing. It's that, like you said, it's practice to get the maximum out of the car. But again, the trophy, the way it's going in the Dugdale Trophy, there is 6 drivers left now, because Nick Papadim won and Poddy's won. So there aren't very many people left. So at this rate, you're going to end, because I'm pretty sure Mike, Stu, and Simon will all win a race.
There's only one left. There's only one left, mate.
Well, you're all going to win. Trust me, I can see it happening. And then you can take home your own trophy. So
hey, I've got my name on it already.
I know. Well, I haven't printed it, so you can. I'll go down the I'll go down charity shop and get like a badminton trophy or something. Anyway, I digress. Well, it was lovely talking to you. Please stick around for the Pawley's Pit Lane if you want to. We'll get some topics. We're going to go across to Russ next, who had a fairly not so great start to the evening, and then race 3, sensational race for race 3, might I add. Second position, you started first. Obviously, Nick Papadim got ahead of you. Take us through that, because I was following the mid pack at that point. So was that a mistake, or was it just up the inside?
He was just quicker. Obviously, he didn't have any ballast on. I was still carrying 45 kilos. I knew I was holding him up. I think it was about lap 5 or lap 6, and he just got a better run than me. And I thought, rather than hold him up any longer, I'll just try and stick with him and take the tow, which worked for about 3 or 4 laps. And then every time I checked the timing screen, Simon was getting closer and closer and closer. And I'm thinking, and Nick was getting further and further away by that point. And I was, come the last lap, I was praying that he didn't stick a good lap in and put one more lap on the board, because I think I would have been in trouble then.
But I mean, it must have been. You must be happy with that result, especially for. I mean, you're mid-table in the championship at the minute, but it's going to be really, really exciting, because I'm not quite sure how the points are all going to stack up.
No, obviously nothing for race 1, which is a bit of a shame, because obviously we were in P4. Shaw's, who was heavily ballasted, was behind us, so I was kind of confident of holding on to P4 for race 1, and then obviously whatever game glitch has happened. That's booted us out, and to be fair, for the first couple of minutes after that, I was ready just to chuck it in and not bother with the next two races. But race 2 was good. Come from the back. It took us a little bit of time to get through a couple, but we got as far as I think we could. The tyres started to go off and trying to catch Clough, and that was as far as we were going to get. But yeah, I was pleased with race 2, and then obviously race 3. Probably, lucked in that you start from the top end of the grid, obviously after not finishing race 1, so that kind of lucked us into that one. And yeah, to be fair, I was happy. I was going to be happy with second place if we could hold it at the start of the race. So yeah, perfect end to the night, shall we say?
Yes, well, it was sensational, holding on to that second in the middle, obviously in race 3 as well. Take us through the tyres. That's something I've not really picked up on yet. The tyres themselves, obviously, the last question before obviously I move on to Mike Bullen, is
No worries,
take us through the tyres, and how were they? Because obviously a lot of the chat, there was some people had 5% left, some people had more. Was there a lot of tyre management going on your side, or was it a case of just I've got plenty, I'm just going to use the lot?
Second race, it was I've got plenty-ish. I'll just give it a lap or two, let everyone sort of settle into a position, and then we'll go for it. And that's what we did. And just about, like I say, the tyres went off towards the end, so we couldn't catch Mike. At one point, Mike and Simon weren't too far in front of us, but we spent too long trying to get past Kane and T-Joke, and then that just Clough by then was a second or so up the road, and then my tyres had gone off, and I struggled to pull away from T-Joke. Really, he could have had the place back towards the end of the race in that second one. But yeah, left front is just a killer on the left front.
But
obviously carrying ballast is not a big help round here.
No.
I think that's why Poddy was so quick. He didn't have no ballast
Yeah.
on board, and he thumped in some really good laps. So I'm pleased for him to get a win. And yeah, on to Road America, which is probably not one of my favourite tracks. So we'll see.
Just see how it pans out.
That's it, mate. Yeah. Well, it can't go any worse, can it? It can't go any worse than Suzuka Race 3 and Silverstone Race 1.
You'll end up with a tree in your house or something. You'll know what'll happen. If you jinx it, that's what'll happen. Well, from what was a very challenging start to the evening to what was a very good result for the evening as well.
Yeah.
But the championship is all topsy-turvy now. I have no indication of where you are, I'll be honest.
I haven't. I was just behind Aaron, I think, which was about 5th or 6th place.
I think so.
If I'm still there.
5th. You were 2 points behind Aaron and just behind and 5 behind Clough. Yeah, it's all going to be change. It's all going to be change at the top of the table. So yeah, I've got no idea how it's going to finish up. So yeah, fantastic. Yeah, stick around, and I'm just going to go across to. So that was Russ, who had from a very bad start to the evening, ended up with a really good evening at the end, which is really, really good. We're going to cross to Mike, and then we'll go across to Aaron. So Mike.
Yeah.
Take us across. Obviously, quick conversation after race 1. Race 3, you looked like you looked to really find your element this week with that Honda. But if we cast our minds back to when we ran here in season 1, you were fast then as well. Is this a track that suits your driving, or is it is it practice, or is it just a case of you've just got a real rhythm here?
No, I mean, I asked the guys, I think I practiced for 15 minutes with them last night. It's just because we run the track on Project Cars 2 season after season after season after season after season after season after season, that it's just ingrained upon my brain. It suits the car works well here. It's a track I know well. But yeah, I was determined in that race to make up some positions. I was accused of being slightly aggressive. That might well be the case. I don't think there was anything too untoward, but if I get reported, so be it. But the main thing for me was just trying to make as many positions as possible after my internet went down for race 2. So of course I lost the second position there, which I'm devastated at, because it could have been a win. I mean, Poddy was quick, but that second race I got the measure of the car, got the measure of Poddy, and we were half a second apart for the time I was in the race, and then all of a sudden my internet pooped itself.
Oh, was yours an internet poop?
Yeah, my internet just completely went down because I got disconnected from the chat for Discord and everything as well. So it was definitely internet. My TP link just completely shut itself down.
I've got a theory that Poddy has gone into the internet somewhere and messed it all up. I'll tell him after this. I'll go, I got a theory about tonight, mate. I think he's just gone in and just purposely gone in and broke everything for everybody.
Yep, sounds about right.
But you know, in race 1, like you said, because if we go to race 2, before we quickly pick on race 3, but if we look at race 2, you really had you were actually quicker than Poddy in the last 5 minutes of the race. When we looked at the comparable lap times, I mean, we're only talking a tenth, but a tenth over a number of laps. Again, if we look at Ashbourne in race 2, he was nearly a second a lap faster than Neil in front of him. So, again, is that tyre management, or like you were saying, obviously post-race from the end of race 1, is you had the pace in the car, but it was just those little... I'd call them errors, right, and say they're errors. And those little errors cost you that opportunity.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think I had the pace to stay with Poddy in race 1. Like I said, it was the 2 times that I ran wide, and I had to slow down, and then I was behind Aaron Large, had to battle my way back past him, so that all cost me time. So I was... net, I think I was 4.5 seconds behind Poddy, and yes, I was quicker than him at the end of the race, but this track is so short, you're only going to be a tenth, 2 tenths quicker than the guys around you. So when you've already lost that 2-3 seconds from, you know, a track limits abuse or whatever it was, that's it really. Unless they make a mistake, you've got no chance of battling back. And I think that was clear through the field tonight, as once people had broken the toe for whatever reason, whether it had been a mistake or just pace, that was it really.
Which was, I think that's the thing, but that's what we see at Silverstone. I actually have fixed the Discord, so if anyone would like to put their cameras on, please keep it civil. You are welcome to put your cameras on now, and you'll actually turn up on the screen and on the feed. But do you think that's the case at this type of track, is that if you get into a pack of cars, I think we saw it at Monza as well, Silverstone's very much a case, if you're in that pack of cars, then you're dragged along. But if you're more than a second in a car in front and a second from the car behind, it basically means that you just can't, no one's really chasing you. You're basically stuck in no man's land.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's kind of almost like a virtual safety car in Formula 1, in that everybody's just kind of following each other around and you can't really make any moves. It's the best sort of way I can visualize it for people. Like Martin Brundle describes it, putting all the Scalextric cars on the same side so they all go the same speed. I mean, that's kind of how it feels at times, because you just get stuck. It's not a great track for overtaking. It's very easy to follow, so it didn't create a lot of jeopardy for drivers where you really had the opportunity to push and move through the field.
So yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? It makes it quite tricky, I think, and then you have to decide whether or not you want to push or you don't want to push. But yeah, it is one of those, really. It is one of those. So yeah, you are on the feed, right? We're going to go across to, I think it's Aaron. Last. Very nice radiator, by the way. It's not just my house that is in these images anymore, which is really, really nice. So just over to for yourself, Aaron, before we'll just go into Paulies pit lane and we'll talk about some stuff just around, you know, observations and things like that. Just for yourself, take us through that night. You looked like I was saying before, you had real speed in that car. But the thing I really want to talk about is that battle with Kane Alexander in the last race.
I just could not get past. I mean, the Honda it had no put, like, even in the slipstream, I was getting unbelievable runs onto the straight, and he was still pulling away. I was watching the Delta go up. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it.
So do you think it's one of those things then, is that that link, because he has no ballast, that link is just more, because obviously the hangar straight is massive. It's a really long straight. Do you think that the Honda, as it gets towards into 4th and 5th, just doesn't have the legs at the legs of the link at that phase, basically?
It seemed to be that even as I got the good run, so I was staying in second to get the bite into the corner, which was giving me a run, and I would gain on Kane. And then as soon as I was into fourth and fifth, like you say, he'd actually pull away. And then I wouldn't start catching him until the last sort of 50 metres of the straight. But at that point, it's too late. So if I'd have made a move, he had a funny line through turn one, but it didn't matter what happened. Well, not turn one, sorry, turn three. It didn't matter what happened at turn three because through turn one, with the no ballast, he could basically fly through, drift the car, still make the apex of two, and it was like the perfect defense. But that's the whole point of ballast, and it worked perfectly. I mean, in the corners, in the heavy braking zones, I'd gain all the time back, and that's sort of where ballast wasn't really that much of an effect. But as soon as it came to a straight line, he had me, and it evened itself out really. So it worked perfectly. I just couldn't get him, just not today.
Well, it looked like you've really got to grips with that Honda this season. Be the way I'd put that. Is it something you're going to stick with next season, or are you thinking you might progress to a different car? Have you been trying out different cars? How are you feeling with that? Because I'd be right in saying we're going to progress now. So basically, we're now going to cut the normal interviews there, and we're just going to go into the chat section. So you can turn it off here. I'll blog this in there, and then I'll put a nice little overview in the top that says Paulies Pit Lanes. So this is like a general discussion, basically, for everybody on there. But I'll stick with Mike and Aaron first. That Honda is a very tricky car. I'd be right in saying, in the sense that it reminds me of the Astra in Project Cars 2. You either love it or you hate it. It doesn't seem to have a middle ground. Like, people don't go, oh, I'll sit in it and I like to drive it. Do you find that, or do it just suits your driving, or how is that car?
Do you know what? It's actually really nice to drive, and it makes me think I have a particular driving style, because I can go in a link and I'm nowhere near as fast as I am in a Honda. But then, like, Poddy's in a link and he's absolutely rapid, and so is like Cluffy. So it's funny that you should mention the Astra, because the Astra was my go-to car in Project Cars 2, and I loved it. And it doesn't drive too dissimilar. It drives very similar to the Mercedes with the power of the Astra. So it's a car that's very agile and very nimble and likes to get in corners. So if you can harness the driving style, because it does suffer, as all the cars do anyway, it seems that the thing I struggle with the most is lift off, oversteer, and torque, like wheel spin. I got on top of it in the Hyundai because that had quite a linear torque demand, whereas this feels like more like the Astra, in the sense that there's certain gears that really pull you through corners.
Yeah.
So, like, an example tonight would be the final sort of two corners that lead onto the Hamilton straight. I was short shifting into third and getting a better run, whereas I could tell Kane was in second gear shifting into third, because he would run a lot wider. But it's little gimmicks like that which I seem to have found straight away. And I mean, Michael know himself, but it seems to, I don't know, I just really gelled with that car, and I'm probably in that last 5%, like we spoke about last week, of understanding the car knowledge. And I think the big thing for me this season has been learning to drive with ballast, which is evidently what's
Massive.
Yeah, it's helped me tonight, because I think the first time I had ballast was Watkins Glen, and I was nowhere. And I've come to a track tonight where there's a big straight like Watkins Glen, and I was in the mix all night. So that's been the biggest thing for me. And I think if I am going to contend for this championship, I'm going to have to be prepared to race well with another 60, 70 kilograms of ballast at Road America and see what happens.
So do you think then, talking about the ballast, because obviously I know it's a long subject, and this is for, I think you've all run with ballast at some point. Do you does that take your mentality into a different place to prepare the car and prepare how you practice? I mean, I'll talk, for yourself, Russ, and Simon as well, because both of you, I mean, season 1, Simon, you had ballast in the way we changed the ballast system, and then Russ, you had 100 kilograms and you've lost weight. I mean, do you find that you prepare differently, or do you think, I've just got to get rid of this ballast, as quickly as possible, or is it a case of you just drive it and go, just see what happens?
Well, if I turn on my computer on a Thursday or a Friday and I see that I'm still in the ballast zone, I think, wow, I did quite well then on Wednesday night. So it's not a terrible thing. The 100 kilos obviously that I had at Brands Hatch, literally, like you say, I turned up at the track and I was like, right, we're going to be down the back here with not a hope's chance of getting anything. And for the first 2 races, that rang true. And then obviously race 3 happened, and it all changed. But like I say, when I'm running with ballast, I try and score consistency. And then if race 3, like I say, if we finish sort of towards the back end of the grid in the first 2 races, race 3, I'm going to try and hold whatever position I can hold as best I can. So obviously last week, Suzuka, it was 4th, but I made a mistake. But yeah, and Brands Hatch, I had first, lap and a half to go, quicker cars came. Yeah, I could fight them, but I'll cost myself more time to fight them than if I just tactically try and hold them up as much as I can. And then if they get the run, just let them go. And that's what I did at Brands, and it worked a treat. I finished 3rd. It's what I did today. I held Papadim up as much as I could, and it was clearly evident that he was a lot quicker than I was. Simon was starting to dip under the 2.5 second barrier, and I just thought, we'll just let him go, take the tow for 3 or 4 laps while we can stay with him, which we did. And then, like I say, come the end, I was still hoping that he didn't cross the line with a second or so to go, so that we had to do another lap, because Simon was within a second, and it would have been a lot more interesting come the end.
I mean, and again, for yourself, Simon, do you find, again, like Russ was saying, in terms of the ballast and stuff, do you find it difficult when you go from having no ballast to having lots of ballast? Or is it a case you'd rather keep the same amount of ballast every week and just maximise points and let other drivers swing up and down the ballast scale? And essentially, as well, Mike.
My answer is going to be a lot shorter than the last one. I hate ballast. I just can't get the hang of driving with it. As soon as I get even just 30 kilos seems to kill me. And I can't really, I've always struggled with ballast. Even when I had the Audi last season, just couldn't get the hang of it at all. So that's my short answer.
That's the short answer. I mean, what about yourself, Mike? I mean, because you've obviously you came over from the Combox, and then you've come back in, and then you've progressed up and up and up and up to be carrying more and more weight. Do you find you have to change your driving style? Do you have to change, or do you just, that you've got the ballast, so it's just a case of a couple of cycle laps and off you go?
Well, the thing is, the league's so close. Apologies for correcting you in front of your adoring fans, but I haven't actually carried ballast yet.
How have you managed that, Mike? How have you managed that, Mike?
How is that possible?
Quick!
Look at him sitting there all smug with his crossed
now.
hands.
But look, I missed 2 rounds, so even with a drop score, I'm still an entire points worth of rounds worth of points. Behind everyone. But do you know what? On the subject of ballast gets a lot of stick from people, a lot of drivers. Personally, as you know, me and Simon battled away with a slightly different ballast system in season 1. And the races that I didn't have ballast, me and Simon were on the same page. When I had ballast, he handled it a lot better than me. Just he does hate it, but I was useless with it. But I still would not change what we do. And the reason for that, I just updated the tables while everybody else has been talking. Obviously, they are provisional at the moment. But there are 35 points between first place and 11th place. 35 points. That's it. And that is because we run a ballast system. What it does is it gives everyone a chance. I've checked, we've had 8 different race winners this season because of ballast and reverse grids. So for it to be that close, and if you consider people like Pat Padame's on 152 points, I'm on 146, Aaron Large is on 145. We've all missed more than one round. So our drop score is 0 plus another round. If you add 25 points, if you say on average to all of that, we're all, the top 8 drivers would be within like 10 points of each other, which is just ridiculous. So, yeah, I hate driving with ballast, but I wouldn't change what we do in a million years, because how close is this league?
I think
it's and it just gives everybody an opportunity.
I think that was one of the things I was talking to Marcus at work, because he talks to me all the time about, he loves touring car and everything, and he says from a viewing perspective, he says from a driving perspective, he says it's really difficult for, I mean, he doesn't really drive at all, but he says it's really difficult from, driving with ballast, seeing the tyres, seeing all that change. But he says, in terms of making it, of all the leagues that he watches, he says it's so close. But then it's like we were talking about last week. It's a completely different style of driving in the middle of a pack with ballast than it is without ballast at the front of the pack.
It totally is.
Completely different.
There are a lot of drivers who really don't like the ballast, and they do make that perfectly clear. But at the same time, they're still at the top of the championship, and still able to pretty much match my lap times, and I got no ballast. And I think that is the key. But that's the key thing, is that I haven't got the talent to do what they do. So they've got to see it as a positive thing, in that they have the talent to not only drive with the ballast, but remain competitive.
So this is the thing then, talking about, the different cars that we've got. Obviously, we've got Simon in the Hyundai. We've got who's also driven the Audi. We've got an Audi, and 2 Hondas. Do the different cars handle the ballast differently? If you've got a Hyundai and you've got an Audi and the ballast goes in the same, do they? I mean, they drive differently anyway. So please don't shoot me in the comments. But when the ballast is added, can you notice the difference in the car?
Massive.
This one's different. That one handles different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Not so much the handling, but certainly the straight line acceleration is very, very different. Very noticeable. And I'll just say before I carry on, I know I said I hate ballast, but I wouldn't take it out of the championship for exactly what Mike said. It gives everybody a chance, even me in a dodgy car.
No, you to be fair, Simon, you have just found the whatever it's called. I can't think of anything. I'm not talking at a million miles an hour.
I've been Mr. Default setup all my life. I very rarely tamper with setups, and I've just discovered the joys of brake balance.
We used to
all hail brake balance.
Funny enough, we used to race with somebody in a different league, Cody. The kid was an alien, and when I talked to him once, he used to change the brake ballast in Project Cars 2 multiple times in one lap. That's how much.
Yeah, for whatever corner.
Yeah, whatever corner.
That's what the pros do.
He was fiddling. He was fiddling with it, and I was like, I can't even go around a corner without crashing, without touching anything. I mean, that's literally I can't do that.
You know what?
Very tricky. That's very tricky in VR.
That's literally what I was saying as you joined. So I had to shut up because obviously we were going to be live on stream. Is that the really good drivers will start with the ballast towards the front. Obviously, they adjust it differently for different corners, but not only that, they'll knock it back after 2 laps, and then a bit more, and slowly put it towards the rear because it keeps the tyres in, especially as the tyres wear. So I haven't got the ability to do that, mostly because the G29's toggle thing. It goes either to 100 or 0. It doesn't like just selecting one. But that's because I'm poor. That's because I'm poor and I can't afford a Fanatec. So
yeah, map it to a button, Mike. Map it to a button, and then you're all right.
I have it mapped to the D-pad, Mike.
I've got a button box down there, but I can't see it in VR, so I'm plodding away. I'm just passing down the corner here.
That is the definition, the actual definition of all the gear and nowhere to it.
You need to put special little dots on it so you can see which one you're feeling.
Like Braille.
Yeah.
Use Braille.
You should have one that brings a drinks
Absolutely
trolley
brilliant.
across. Just press it, and then someone goes across with a drink.
That's what a wife's for, isn't it?
Oh, please.
Ah, sorry.
Dodgy ground.
But so, looking ahead, then looking across to Road America, and again, track I think I've raced once in Gran Turismo years ago. Didn't even know it was a real track, if I was honest. That's how
Very
I was like, "Is it a
knowledgeable,
real
Andy. Very
track?"
knowledgeable.
Googled it. Turned out it's a real track. So, I don't, yeah, yeah. So, in terms of that track, then, I mean, server will go up, practice server will go in. Are you looking forward to it, or is it a case of, again, is this one of these ones where you practice it, or you just go, I just got to get rid of it? Because I get the feeling Donington is a track. Well, I love Donington. I just love that track. But Road America, I'd have to Google actually more information on it. I mean, does anyone have any information on Road America?
Of course,
about
Aaron does.
2 minute
He's an
15 a lap.
encyclopedia of nonsense.
There's a couple of long straights on Road America, so it should play into the hands of the Hyundai a little bit.
See,
think
another
that's it.
race winner. Be another
It's
race
got a
winner.
bit of everything. It's a bit like
Yeah.
Spa in that it's got a
I
bit
said
of
that
everything.
last week. I said that last week.
You
I
did.
said it's a flat Spa.
Yeah,
You did.
yeah, it
It's
is very
bit-
much a flat Spa. But I'm
It's,
really annoyed about Donington just on that subject because I wanted the Nordschleife hour special at the end of the season. That was
It's a
supposed to be a
sore
double
subject.
point special at the end of the season.
Well, would that be
And-
a 2-lap race, wouldn't it?
No, it was supposed to be a 1 hour special.
Oh, right, okay.
And everyone kicked off about it, so I'm furious.
But
To be fair, I have problems with the button box trying to do the pit stops as well in VR, so that wouldn't have worked for me at all. Because there's no way I'm doing an hour on 2 times tyre wear.
see, that's the interesting thing with the 2 times tyre. I mean, Chris, who used to race with us in season 1, he's actually put up in one of the comments. This is 100% the hardest TC league there is, just because of the ballast and rules. But obviously, the rules are very strict. I know we broached on this last week, but they're very strict to give us that level of racing. And you know, we always talk about the difference between doing something for the driver and something for the league, because there's always a difference, isn't there? I mean, is his statement true, or well, I think it is.
It is. I
It's
spoke
true.
to a couple of guys in the Crest series. I tried to get them across to our series because Crest finished just as ours was starting, and a lot of them weren't interested because we run 2 times tyre wear. So they're obviously very quick with the tyres at optimum, and not very quick when they're not. So you have to be able to do everything in our league. You have to be able to run with weight in the car. They didn't like the fact that we ran with ballast. So basically, they just want to go out, bang in a really quick lap in qualifying, and then go and do it again in a race and win by a country mile.
And penalty points as well. Other leagues
And penalty
don't
points, yeah. We touched on that last
Yeah.
week, I think, about the Crest series, that it's an 80-point limit to being disqualified, and it's a 40-point limit before you're investigated for anything.
Jesus.
I mean, look, I can only speak.
Unless someone complains about you.
We've run various leagues on various bits of software over the years, and the reason we chose Raceroom was because it gave us this ability to have clean, fair racing. So, you know, each their own, and I'm not going to tell other people how to run their league. We run the league this way because it creates fair, clean racing. It creates close racing, and having run other softwares in the past, where you get the same guy winning every week, 90% of the field get completely bored of it, and you never have the same drivers back 2 seasons in a row, or very rarely you do. Because what's the point? You're not fighting for anything. You just know that guy's going to go win it again. And people don't want to watch that either. It's as bad as watching the Formula One.
Yeah.
Which I watch every week, like a sack kid. But my point is, I still get bored after the race.
I watched it.
That's why
it's my opportunity for a Sunday afternoon nap, and I just set my alarm for 2 laps before the end.
That's why you've got to have snacks. That's the point of snacks, to be honest.
But no, it's all set up to make it fair and close, and
gives everybody an opportunity.
But that's
exactly. And I'm sure I'm not pointing fingers, but I'm sure Michael Clough and Chazot and George, the really fast guys in this league would absolutely love it to be ballast free and 1 times tyre wear, because they'd pretty much win every week. But where's the fun in that?
I think, to be fair, from talking to them, I think they do like it's a different challenge. I think it's that level of challenge that's presented, because a lot of the people, like I said, they use SimGP. I think we looked at that for a period, but you can't run ballast. So SimGP software, they host the server. You can't put. It just does not allow you to run ballast. They've never developed the software, and they're never going to do it.
Okay.
Which means that if you want to have a ballasted league, you can't. But it's at the end of the day, it's run like the touring car league. The real, obviously now they've got hybrid buttons and all that jazz. But the ballast is just it. Because ultimately, I mean, I take T-Joke. I know his name's not T-Joke, but that's how I was told to pronounce it. And that's what I'm sticking with, all right? And I have said to him, please, if I get it wrong, just tell me. But I get so much wrong that there we go. And I forgot what I was going to say. Sometimes I lose train of thought. Oh, that was it. So at Monza, he had 100 kilograms on board that car. Was it 90 kilograms or 92? He was one of the two, but he was so fast at that track. So I was expecting him today to be just as fast, but he wasn't.
No,
which is a real
International is just a tyre killer. So with the ballast on board as well, he was never going to be winning races today. Unfortunately, that track is horrendous. I would have run the GP track if it was up to me, because the International and the National are both just absolute pants.
But it's
just I'm just giving you my honest opinion. both those iterations. I love Silverstone, but
well,
I've got it tattooed on me just for evidence. I do love it, but the GP track's amazing, but the other two tracks are just absolute pants.
I mean, one thing I would like, it's moving away from tracks and again looking at some individual drivers. Again today, Poddy was just in a different league in that race one. Again, you were there, Mike. You both were there. But I think Poddy was just marginally ahead just because of less of the slowdown penalties. Would be the way
I mean, Poddy was quicker than me today. I'm not saying I would have beat him because of the slowdown penalties. I purely was just only 5 seconds behind because of that, and I think I showed him race 2 because I didn't make any mistakes, and I think I got disconnected about halfway through the race, and I was literally right on his bumper. So he was definitely quicker than me today, though. It would have taken a Herculean effort to get past him, especially with him being such a good defender. But he didn't really need to defend because he had the legs on me in the parts of the track where it mattered. But do you know what? The most important thing is, and congratulations to Poddy on 2 race wins. Really, really pleased for him. But the most important thing is, like I alluded to earlier, we've had 8 different race winners this season, and that's what we want to see. We just want to see. My biggest dream would be that the Dugdale Trophy is empty. Because
yeah, if you plan on that one, it's all right.
No, but genuinely, if you win a race, you can't be in it, and I'd love that. If everybody won a race, how fantastic a season would that be?
Don't worry, I'll give myself the prize. And
no, but we could find another way, couldn't we? If you've had less than 3 race wins or something, we'd find another way. But genuinely, if that table was empty because everybody won a race, I think that would be one of the most successful leagues ever. Because there aren't many leagues that can say that.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. We're looking to I think Donington, and this is where just going back to yourself, Simon, and obviously a couple of questions for you, Aaron, as well in a minute. For yourself, Simon, is leading the Dugdale Trophy. Do you still go for the race win now, or do you think your nearest rival, Stu, do I go just keep ahead of him?
He's not leading the Dugdale Trophy anymore, Mike Bullen.
All right. So the question is, do you go for Mike Bullen? Well, I haven't got the updated table, so I've only got what I can see when I last
Go on, Mike. How close are you, Mike?
Yeah, how close is he?
I'm 11 points ahead of you now.
Shocking.
In the Dougie?
In the Dougie, yeah. Yeah, because the Dougie takes into account overtakes as well. And I've gained 26 positions this season, I think it is.
Not
23.
to brag.
Not to brag there.
With no ballast.
Oh,
I hold my hands up.
Realistically,
I would not be where I am without ballast. With ballast.
If the fast guys turn up next to it for the final race, then I'm not going to get a win. I'm just not quick enough in the Hyundai to win. I got lucky getting on the podium in race 3, I think, tonight.
There's 2 left on one, mind.
Is it 2? Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Road
Road
America. And, yeah, I'm Road America possibly because of the long straights, but I'm not overconfident of a race win. As always, if I get the chance, I'll probably stick it in there and just settle for mid-table in the league because it's nice to get a win, but we'll see. We'll have to see what happens. I can see Mike winning one because he's quicker. He's always a bit quicker than me at the moment. But we'll see. We'll see.
I think it's going to be exciting to go in. It's going to be definitely exciting going into the last 2 races of the season. Sorry, 2 weeks of the season. I think that's going to be really exciting.
I'm not really much of a strategist. I kind of just get my head down and do the best I can in every race. So I think that's why I lost season 1 was because the other guys held back a little bit, so they had no ballast in the final race, and I just couldn't challenge in the final race, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
But I just, as I've said to you every time, I take the result that's there, and I always try my hardest in every race. And this season's been a bit of a struggle in this Hyundai because I obviously didn't understand what brake balance did until now.
But now you've said it live, we've all got faith that you're going to be.
The blue touch paper has been lit.
Yeah,
it's fireworks from now on.
That you're going to be.
We'll see.
Going to be up there. So, So in terms of yourself, Russ, I'm just going to talk to Russ and Aaron, and then I will have to close it off because I'm coming to my time limit that I set myself, not you trying to drag me on until 11:30 at night. Is in terms of the Audi that you've got at the moment. Again, talking to about the car again, going back to that.
Yeah.
You ran it last season. You actually did a grading in the Astra and the Opal. Sorry.
Yes.
Are you going to stick with that next season? Is it just a car that you like driving, or you think, well, I'll try the Cupra? Because the 2 boys driving the Cupras, they've always drive the Cupras. Every league I watch them in, they're always in the Cupra and the latest year of Cupra. It's never changed.
I can't get the hang of the Cupra. So that will probably be a no because I can't. I don't know how they do it. I just can't get a lap time out of it. The same to be said with the thing like the Honda. I can't really drive either. I'm all right in it, but I'm not super quick. So the Astra was possibly one I might move to next year. I might go back and drive a Vauxhall because I'm a bit of a Vauxhall nut. So if I don't run one season in the Vauxhall, I might have to start selling them all. So yeah, I might have to run the Astra next season just for a bit of fun and something different. Just take a break from the Audi for a year. But that means the number 23 in 2018 will be retired until I start using it again. Because I love that colour scheme, so it's coming back.
And yourself, Aaron, with it, because I know we talked about before about the different cars you've been testing out and the different things. You going to stick with a Honda, or are you going to try a different flavour?
Unless I'm about half a second faster than what I can do in the Honda, I'm not changing. I
I
mean,
thought
I
the
ninjaed.
Peugeot.
I was going to say I ninjaed the Peugeot the other night. I don't know. I don't know what. It must have had E1 in it. Never mind E5 or E10. It was like rocket fuel. But I love Mike to bits, and I don't want to leave him. So
Oh, that's cute.
I think I'll stay in the Honda.
Well, thank you, everybody.
Oh,
Thank you, everybody, for joining us for Paulies Pit Lane. You're more than welcome to join us every week. We just talk just talk rubbish. You know, really well done racing tonight. There's some ups, some downs, some real high points, some real low points, as you'd expect. Yeah, so enjoy the rest of your evening. What's left of it. Yeah, and thank you for those of you that are still watching us, that I know that I can actually see you, because you're popping up over here. So there are people still watching this. Yeah, thank you for staying with us with a long way. And yeah, we'll be back. See ya. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody.
Good night, boys.
Good night.
Good night.
And there we go. So sat down on my seat. So that's it for the rest of the evening. Yeah. And that's where it is. There's always talking points, as there always is. And as I say, we only ever see one side of the story, because we don't have multiple angles. We aren't the FIA. We can only review things as we see them. So we'll be back next week, Road America, which will be a very interesting race circuit. Yeah, so good evening and good night.